You may sit.
Thank you. So, next on our list, a lot of us came from different places, and for that, we'd like to welcome Professor Oluremi Olutimo, PhD, the President, for his welcome speech. Thank you. Please, a wonderful round of applause for Professor Oluremi.
Hope you can all hear me. Services for everyone. I want to express my gratitude to everybody for taking your time out to be here this morning. And not only that, I send greetings from my executive, the United Nations Association of Nigeria. And also, I want to greet all the dignitaries in this, the speakers, and all the established protocol. Today mark an historic event in Nigeria. And I want us to clap for ourselves to have this organized. And also, I want to give credence and accolade to the NIAA for making things happen. Collaboration with us. And they see us as shy because we make some little blunders, but they still corrected us, and here we are today. Today, we're in the settings of United Nations. We're celebrating Nation at 80. And today, all of you here, you're making history. That's what you don't know, you're making history. United Nations Nigeria came, it was conceived in 1952, but bed in 1959 by Professor Fabian. And I'm here standing today, by the grace of God, with the fourth president. So I want to appreciate you all. And the topic today, once again, I appreciate everyone. You guys are looking fantastic. It's nice having Nigeria looking so gorgeous in these amazing settings. Thank you. My welcome address will be very short. It's something that's been bothering me, and that's what it's something that's been bothering me over the years, even while I was growing up. As you see me, I was one of the student activists. I fought during the ministry. And today, I stopped fighting the ministry. I'm fighting for humanity, a change, a future all of us can be proud of. and have shifted from fighting for future. I'm now what we call sustaining future. So that by the time you leave this earth, works you left behind can be followed up. Most of us, we make a very grand, influence in our life. When we die, nobody continue that lineage. Your visions, your dream goes to the grave with you. So it's time for Africans to learn how to write something, how to tell them about how you went about in your life. It means that you have more to offer. If you don't have more to offer, it will steal from you. Somebody, comes through the window and steal your television. The next day, you replace it, right? Yeah. But what about him? He will sell it. Will he have? No. That's how life is. Who is using the digital, and let the person put what you're selling online. Then do a little twist of branding what you're selling. And when they see that you switch with time, you will not be at the roadside again. You'll be in-house. For the SDG, we stand at approximately $4 trillion. This soon I don't need to approach you, but I say I'm a human being like you. What makes me different is the opportunity. When you have it, we will talk. I broke all protocols, leaving no one back. Professor Lamptey, you're welcome. So, I can tell you the lady that said, you do it to me. You think it's only when you're in church or mosque that you're doing it to the God? No. Get that boy out of the streets. Leave no one behind. I say that again. So I use that word effective partner. Thank you. And leave a sustainable future for my generation. Thank you.
Is that the best you can do for the president? The president, sir, I'm so touched by your speech, but I held some things so dearly to my heart, and some of them I'm going to say now. First and foremost, I don't know the person you helped, but I want to say a very big thank you for making an impact in our lives, not just in our life, in our It's never reached 5 years, 3 points don't come. I know what I'm saying. My wife is so fertile today, yesterday, if I just smile at her like this, she has missed her period. I don't know. Very fertile woman. I took her to go and do family planning. I didn't trust her. I even gave my hand to the doctor to do family planning my body. That's how it is. So, sir, for these 3 boys, leave me. Don't make impact in my life. Which among them do you want to make impact? Because I know I'm a father to them. But I don't know. Well, congratulations, sir, because the truth is, helping, one of the major, the sweet thing in helping people is that you get to see the smile on the face of the person you are helping. So please, can we put a wonderful round of applause I know because I'm a comedian, you think whatever I'm saying is a joke. This one I said is not a joke. Which of them will you help? So that Mr. can also stand in the Nigerian army and give you hand, standing ovation. So thank you so much, sir. So ladies and gentlemen, myself and my co-host,
the director of UNIC, Mr. Ronald Kayanja. Unfortunately, we'll be streaming him live, so would want media to help us with that. Thank you. Okay, while they're at it, while they're figuring that out, we can take the next line item so we take care of our time. So we'll start with the goodwill messages. The first one will be from the founder of UNA Ghana, is no other than Bishop Boke Saki, all the way from Ghana. He's the founding father of UNA Nigeria. We're so proud of him. He has achieved so much. He comes forward to give us the speech.
Ghana is saying I am most honored because the first time I met my brother, I always add one add to it. But yet, this is how life is. So, at times, you may be thinking, so, and sacrifice what you have and help this organization to grow. And then,
Thank you so much for that inspiring speech. We're so clapping to you. Media, are you ready for us? If you're ready, please let the camera roll. For Mr. Ronald Kianja, Director, UNIC.
The nations were united. The Big Five, China, Russia, Britain, France, and the United States, led the peoples of the world as they launched a rule of international law and a Bill of Human Rights.
In the aftermath of the Second World War, the UN really was an expression of hope, and it was the birth of the international community as we know it today. It was the first
Okay, so. Alright, so while we wait for Mr. Roland, I want to say a very big thank you to Bishop for that wonderful section. This is a wonderful round of applause for Bishop. So, in order to make our international delegates feel more welcome, I'm sure we are different people from different states. If you know you are from Yoruba, can I see your hands up? Let's welcome them in our Yoruba language. Yoruba, please, can you tell them welcome in your dialect? In your dialect, Yoruba. Please tell our international delegate to welcome in your dialect. It are the deepest one. Ekabo. We'll tell you the meaning later. So who is from Igbo? Igbo. Okay, so please tell our international delegate to welcome. Who? So you are Igbo, but you can't speak it, right? I'm just wondering because I thought you said you are Igbo. Okay, I'm so sorry. Because of my 3 points, I'm sorry. Those boys are blessed. Yeah. So welcome.
ndị ọbịa nnọọ anyị ekele unu ndị ọbịa alụba anyị adịrị unu mma n'aha Chineke onye kere anyị.
Our international delegates, even if you don't understand, Solomon is from the north, north. Wow.
Good morning.
I'm sorry, our international delegate, what he's saying is that God bless you for coming. Amen. Who is from Edo State? Edo State. Let's just take Edo State. Edo. Okay, let me call. Edo. Make sure you can speak into which part of Edo? Yes,
Welcome our international delegates. But sorry, when you speaking in terms of your welcoming them? Because I'm just hearing I'm from the country, but I don't understand that language. Okay, so to our international delegate, what we are trying to do is to welcome you well and officially. So please, the word. Is it ready? So next on our list, okay, the keynote address, that will be taken by the one and only, the highly esteemed Professor Efe Obi, Director of Studies, NRIA. Please, a wonderful round of applause for the highly esteemed Professor
Efe Obi. Please keep clapping. So we'll be speaking on shaping our future together, UN at 80, and the SDG decade of action. Please, let's keep clapping. Let's keep clapping.
I'm sure we have established a protocol. So I'm going to stand in that we often say on the existing protocol. But also, I want to welcome you all to the Nigerian School of International Affairs on behalf of the Council Chairman, the Director General, and the Management Staff of the NIA. And on behalf of my colleagues here present, I welcome you all. Today is worldwide. It's important that we celebrate. I might not be 80 years, but I have seen, experienced part of the history of 80 years. 18 July 2025, a bold step to reform the wider United Nations
particularly Africa. We also have issues of sovereignty concerns. And if you listen to the foreign minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my foreign minister, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, he often talk about strategic autonomy. That is what all countries, especially the developing countries, are looking for. There's also rise of populism and nationalism, diverse interests and values that are permeating the international system, resource constraints, power imbalances, and democratic deficits. You could look around, especially in West Africa, there had been the resurgence of the military. Now the question is, why this resurgence of the military in many of these countries? As of last week, I was in Ghana. While we were looking at the Kofi Annan Institute, while we were looking at the future of US peacekeeping that is adapted to the extant challenges we face. In Madagascar, there was the rumor of coup. Part of the military that are dissatisfied were joining the citizens to demonstrate. Now, that's just one part of the challenges. We also have global environmental challenges, sea level rise, global warming, biodiversity loss leading to water scarcity, land use changes, ocean pollution, making it increasingly difficult for the environment to sustain life. And when you go through the social media and the analysis, always you see that they want to reduce population. Why are this conspiracy theory coming up? Because they assume and they feel that the planet might not be able to hold the more than 9 or more than 8 billion humans that are here. No doubt the globe is aflame with war in some parts of the Middle East, Eastern Europe, and Africa. And I said categorically, if it is not well managed, it will result into what I call the New World Disorder. So when you listen to many scholars and analysts, they are all talking about a new global order, a new global governance. And because the fears is that, but it's not really an astute fear, it's something that exists, that the extant global order is actually in disorder. The liberal order is failing. And so we are asking, as a developing world, we are asking, as Africans and Nigeria, that we need a new world order. When the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria took over in 2023, one of his first trips was to go to Paris for what? For a new financial park. Why is that so? Because the developing societies, especially African countries, were integrated into an economic system that they were not part of.
When the Bretton Woods system was created, many African countries have not gained independence. In fact, no African countries have gained independence at the time. When the World Bank, the IBRD, as it was called, and the IMF were all created, we were not there. So we only got independence and were integrated into an unbalanced economic system that is pivoted on inequality, inequity, injustice, and disparity. Now, we are all asking for something. You know, the danger is that if we don't ask for what will give us justice, equity, and equality, then there's going to be a problem. It is a danger cry for multilateralism. Today's challenge is that we know the ability of individual countries to find solutions or to solve through state relations. In that state, nations are now developing common interests in managing interdependence to minimize state conflictive aspects. Although cooperative management arrangements emerge frequently between two states, a major focus of international cooperation has been multilateral. There is a need for multilateralism. The current multilateral order largely reflects the constellations of powers in the immediate aftermath of World War II. Great power rivalry is defining the global order and undermining many regions of the globe. Africa was absent, like I said, when global institutions were formed. Africa's interests have long been sidelined in the international system. The global governance system is in crisis, split into north-south, rich and poor. They have and they have not. COVID-19 highlighted these disparities. So what do we want? A secure new world order. The fact remains that we can only achieve peace and security through cooperative security, which seeks to replace Cold War security structures with new multilateral ones.
In this sense, cooperative security activities should involve as many relevant actors as possible to facilitate the transition to multilateralism and inclusiveness. In fact, we are also talking about ownership, not just inclusivity, but also ownership. There is a need for UN reforms and multilateralism that advances Africa's fair representation in global decision-making. We will build that will be built on equality and justice, shaping the international systems. Now, if you look at our program, we're talking about the decade of action. It is no longer about awareness. It's about execution. It is no longer about pledges. It is about progress you can touch and see. It is no longer about their goals. It is about our community, our economy, our environment. Now, what role will Nigeria have to play, or what role should Nigeria play? Nigeria is a microcosm of the Sustainable Development Goals Challenge and the SDG opportunity. We feel the pressure of poverty, climate stress, and economic inequality, but we are also blessed with the most powerful resource on the planet, our people, our vibrant, young, innovative, and relentless population. It is important to understand Nigeria as it is today is a power. We have the population, over 200 million. We have the human resource, human capacity. And that's why we are making a name across the globe. We have resources. We are endowed with natural resources, crude oil, gas reserves, arable land. And so we have to play a very prominent role in the quest for a new world order. Our role in this decade of action cannot be one of passive participation. Nigeria must be a frontline nation. And Nigeria has always been a frontline nation, right from the days of colonialism. A laboratory of solutions, a powerhouse of partnership. The NIA, in collaboration with champions like UNA Nigeria, is committed to ensuring that Nigeria's foreign policy and domestic agendas are two sides of the same coin, a coin invested in achieving the SDGs. We are not here to follow the global agenda. In this meeting, we are here to co-create it, injecting African wisdom, Nigerian resilience, and grassroots innovation into the hearts of multilateralism. We were having a meeting yesterday, and the DG said this. The African spirit is that of partnership, community, cooperation. And if you look at the whole Africa, even under the African Union, are asking for cooperation, asking for partnership at the international level, at the multilateral level, at the UN, the African Union, even in our RECs, the regional economic communities. How do we shift from ambition to action? The fuel is partnership, like I said, but not partnership as a noun. It's a signed document filed away. I mean partnership as a verb, an active, breathing, relentless force. Nigeria and other developing countries view multilateral collaboration as a means to overcome historical economic disadvantages and to achieve sustainable growth, all stemming from colonialism and imperialism that we see today. So the role of Nigeria will be further that Nigeria will be part of the, is part of the countries at the forefront of the quest for a new global governance and world order. We are doing this through South-South cooperation. That means South-South cooperation, all the developing countries come together. And it is also through the G77 that we are all fighting this quest for new global governance. Nigeria is joining forces to ask for parity, equality, equity, and justice, and advocating for reforms within global institutions. The aim is to promote cultural, economic, and political autonomy among global South nations in the face of limitations such as cooperation challenges and lack of funding. Now, recently, the United Nations too has also scaled funding for UN peace support missions and operations. And so they have scaled it down by 15%. Now we are looking at how to get that 15%. That is actually the meeting that we went for. How do we get funding to help to create an effective peace mission in the future? Now we're looking at different facets of the society where the funding can come from. We're still working on the document. But importantly, multilateralism remains uppermost for Nigeria. Nigeria and other developing countries are championing multilateralism as a key to addressing global inequality, which fosters a stable, sustainable world order, directly opposing unilateralism Nigeria holds sacrosanct the central and coordinating role of multilateral institutions that seek to bring global actors together towards finding solutions to common global problems. We believe that effective multilateralism remains the most effective means to govern international relations, free from inequality, inequity, disparity, to ensure a safer, more stable, and sustainable world. We are all talking about sustainability, and the president asks that in his question. Are we able to keep or create a sustainable world or leave sustainability to the future generation? This is Nigeria's position. And I will quote President Muhammadu Buhari, late President Muhammadu Buhari. He said, we should use deployment, multilateralism, in combating not only the global recovery in post-COVID-19 era, but also other threats to international peace, security, and development, such as terrorism, poverty, disease, inequalities, corruption, and so on. Now, a more extant position, that of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he said, a stabilizing force in regional security and a consistent partner in global peacekeeping. Our case for permanent seat at the UN Security Council is a demand for fairness, for representation, and for reform that restores credibility to the very institution upon which the hope of multilateralism rests. This was at the last 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly. What's the way forward? The way forward is a transcendental shift. There's a shift towards a new normal. And what is this new normal that we have to accept and we have to live with? The global system is shifting to multipolarity. So power will not be concentrated. There will not be a hegemon in the near future. There will be multiple dimensions of power. There will be powers in economic terms. There will be powers, groupings of other powers. It could be cultural. They can come together. Nations are forming alliances and creating more alliances. That's the future. With emerging powers like China, Russia, India, and even Nigeria playing increasingly significant role. Now, I always come up with this phrase, or word, collectivization, which is also the future. The way, it is the way, but not the only way to achieve a new global governance, right? Now, what is collectivization? It's an emerging trend in global governance, where groupings of developing countries are becoming more common. It is now realized that it is only through concerted effort can developing countries begin to bargain for a fair share in the international system. So there are a lot of groupings. So even ECOWAS is part of that collectivization. The other regional groupings, Association of Southeast Asia, all of them are all the groupings. But this is coming from the developing world. Now, there is no saying that collectivization is the best platform for establishing a new type of global development partnership that will allow the sharing and shouldering of obligations to boost the common interests of all humanity. Now, this collectivization will leverage on multilateralism, which is a group collective strength to shape a more balanced global order. Let me conclude, because we don't have enough time. Time is not with us. Let me conclude by saying that the quest to entrench multilateralism in the new global governance order is key. It's a framework for action, a picture of a particular configuration of forces. This configuration does not determine actions in a direct, mechanical way, but instead imposes pressure and constraints. Individuals, groups, and nations may move with or resist and oppose the change of the status quo, but they cannot ignore the coming new world order. The coming new world order we cannot ignore. It has come to stay. In conclusion, I'd like to pose this question. Let me also follow the steps of the president. He said, will we be the generation that debated while the war burned? Or will we be the generation that roll up its sleeves and build a future that is just, peaceful, and sustainable for all? Which of them? Anyway, to end, I would like to say, on behalf of the Director General of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, Professor Ehosa Osagai, I thank the UN in Nigeria for their partnership in this critical mission. Let us live here today not as spectators, but as architects. We must shape our future. Let's seize it, let's build it, let's win it. On that note, I say a very big thank you to you all for your attention. Thank you very much.
Wow. I think Professor Efem deserves a very wonderful round of applause once again. Thank you. Please keep clapping because it took time. And I think you should do better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. That was a very insightful presentation. I hope we all agree with that. Yes, yes. Without so much ado, I just want to welcome our Chairman, Board of Trustees, United Nations Association of Nigeria, Ambassador Ayo Olusukomi. Please, let's keep clapping.
Welcome, sir, for coming. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
Thank you. He has served our nation. He has served internationally. He has served at home and abroad. So we're so proud of him. Welcome, Prof.
And he's still serving.
He's still serving, yes.
Please, thank you. Have your
Thank
seat,
you,
sir.
Ambassador. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, explaining why UN at 80 still matters, I think the media of the highly esteemed Mr. Ronald Kayanja, Director, UNIC, is ready. Please, can we have the video?
The nations were united. The Big Five, China, Russia, Britain, France, and the United States, led the peoples of the world as they launched a rule of international law and a Bill of Human Rights.
Are you ready?
In the aftermath of the Second World War, the UN really was an expression of hope. And it was the birth of the international community as we know it today. It was the first time we started having an expectation that there is such a thing as a shared humanity, that we have universal laws, universal norms, and that the international community should come together and work together on the problems that we face.
The widespread discontent among the...
I think to people it represented the idea that this is something that is a global project and that everyone has a stake in. I think that is probably the biggest achievement of the early years.
Becoming a sovereignty concern. And he talked about strategic autonomy, developing economies, diverse systems that we're coming up with, resurgence of global economic crisis, which we're seeing even in Nigeria. He talked about sustainability and difficulties the government is facing, especially our homeland, the conspiratory theory, the new world disorders. He talked about new global governance. He talked about the new global systems, the inequality, injustice, disparity, and he talked about the current vibe, which is a multilateralism. So I think we're going to be discussing that more here in subsequent sessions. He talked about constellation of powers. He talked about African interest. And I guess that's why we're all here, because we have Nigeria at the back of our mind. He also talked about how do we get funding to get this mission very much effective, and how the global actors can be brought together for a sustainable and stable world. Ladies and gentlemen, without so much ado, let's keep clapping for our keynote speaker. He did justice to the topic. And so if media is ready, please roll so we can hear.
The nations were united. The Big Five, China, Russia, Britain, France, and the United States, led the peoples of the world as they launched a rule of international law and a Bill of Human Rights.
In the aftermath of the Second World War, the UN really was an expression of hope, and it was the birth of the international community as we know it today. It was the first time we started having an expectation that there is such a thing as a shared humanity, that we have universal laws, universal norms, and that the international community should come together and work together on the problems that we face. I think to people it represented the idea that this is something that is a global project and that everyone has a stake in. I think that is probably the biggest achievement of the early years, creating those expectations that the UN and states and people have tried to live up to ever since. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights is a document that personalizes the promise of the UN to individuals. It's this idea that we have a shared humanity, we have a shared responsibility to one another. So this is really about saying that I am affected in a very direct way by rights violations that diminish someone in a faraway country. And that gives them some measure of hope for protection, for justice and truth. In those early years, peacekeeping was very much about monitoring an armistice agreement, the withdrawal of troops.
These successful armistice negotiations have demonstrated conclusively the ability of the United Nations to mediate a serious conflict and to avert a dangerous threat to the peace.
That is a model that's been hugely successful. It helped to deliver peace in places like Namibia, El Salvador, Colombia, Sierra Leone. But I think today it is a model that is harder and harder to implement. It's also really hard to find funding for those missions. We spend about $7.5 billion a day on war and on our militaries. We spend that a year on peacekeeping across the world. The eradication of smallpox is a defining achievement of the UN. It was about engaging the scientific community to develop a vaccine, but how do you mass produce that? How do you store that? How do you transport that? It was a logistics issue. You needed to have not just doctors and nurses, but community workers. It was a whole of society effort. And I think that represents what the UN can do at its absolute best. The UN's role in advancing women's rights, empowerment and gender equality has been really transformative.
My dear friends, I would like to welcome you. It is the first intergovernmental meeting in the world where women form part of virtually every delegation.
In 1995, there was a landmark UN conference on women where states adopted something called the Beijing Platform of Action. If you look at how many more millions of girls are not just going to school, but are completing 12 years of education, you look at the attention that people now pay to issues like modern slavery, trafficking, sexual violence in conflict. So there are huge advances that we have seen over the decades in terms of literacy, political inclusion, economic inclusion. I think it's been really transformative.
Will those in favour of the draft resolution please raise their hands?
One of the criticisms we hear of the UN is that it is a talk shop. I actually think that's one of its most important functions. This is one of the only spaces where countries can continue to come together and interact, regardless of how terrible their bilateral relations may be or whatever issues they're facing. It forces them to come together. And I think that prevented, on a number of occasions, things from getting very, very bad, probably prevented some kind of nuclear confrontation. The fact that the Cold War remained cold is something that we can credit the UN with.
We stand ready to take the next steps down the road of cooperation through verifiable arms reduction.
The Millennium Development Goals were transformative on many levels. You have a series of very specific goals around which countries can coalesce. That means they can align their national priorities, their national resources with a global endeavor. The fact that you have clear, measurable goals also means that the people in those countries are then able to hold their governments to account in a very specific way with reference to an international framework. The number of people living in extreme poverty was halved. School access grew massively. You got millions more people in school. Maternal mortality was slashed. So I think we saw what a coordinated push around some very specific issues can achieve. In the past decade, we've seen the Paris Agreement on climate change, the Sustainable Development Goals.
It is so decided.
The Sustainable Development Goals, I think, were one of the highlights of the past decade. It represented the will of governments to come together, but it was also a huge public consultation and engagement exercise. People care about what is agreed at the UN. And I think most people know that their government can't just solve climate change. Most people know that things like misinformation, pandemics, they cross borders. There's no way that their government can do it alone. We saw some of that again during the COVID-19 pandemic, when you really had different sections of societies, different parts of the UN come together to say, this is our action plan for halting the spread of COVID, testing, developing vaccinations, but also how do we respond to the economic impact of this crisis? How do we respond to the social impact? So again, I think it was a really good example of what the UN can achieve. And as long as the need is there, you do need to have an organization like the UN that can work not just on these individual issues, but actually look at the links between them. Ultimately, governments have to deliver for their people. And the UN, multilateralism, these are tools for governments to deliver for their people. The UN continues to symbolize the hopes of people. It did that in 1945 and it does that today.
80 years ago, the world planted a seed of hope. That peace is possible when humanity stands together.
There is a shared humanity. There is a hope that things will be better going forward than they are right now. That is a very human characteristic, that we have the capacity to hope and the will to work together. And that fundamentally is what the UN represents. It's a way for people to place their hope in something that is bigger than them and that connects us all.
That's UN at 80. Keep clapping. That's how far we have come. Okay, so this time, if you look at our program, that will be the plenary dialogue. We'll be taking this, to start this session will be Dr. Desmond Okocha and Otumba
Femi Dada.
Please, if you may come forward, please. Please keep clapping as they come forward.
Thank you. Nice having you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Permit me to stand on existing protocol. I bring greetings to you all from Yunnan, Abuja. I'm here to represent Professor Desmond Okocha, who is unavoidably absent, seriously busy with another commitment in Abuja, and I'm here to talk on his behalf. We are talking about the multilateralism, the role of Nigeria in UN. I'm glad to say that the keynote speaker, Prof, has done serious justice to that. Seriously. I was happy when he was presenting. I was like, you have made my work easier. So I really thank God for that. Whatever I'm going to say is just to add one or two things to what he has said already. So, but considering the importance and advantages that is on multilateralism, it can never be overemphasized because we have a lot of advantages surrounding that, ranging from building confidence and trust to all the countries. First, countries come together to form alliance, drop their differences aside just to pursue a goal together. In that case, the strength of one supposed to be the strength of all. The weakness of one supposed to be the weakness of all. Whatever affects one affects the others. So any advantage that is from one country, every other country in that group supposed to benefit from that. And considering the numerous advantages in this multilateralism, then every country that comes together agrees to put their differences aside to pursue a particular goal or some certain goals, supposed to benefit from the advantages that are enormous for it. Then talking about the role of Nigeria, in addition to what Prof has said already, the Nigeria has critical role to play in UN, a lot, highly enormous. Nigeria has the power to champion the UN reform. It seems the current structure is not really representing the current global reality. So, but Nigeria has the power to embark on that reform. How would they do that? They can do that in several ways. One of the ways they can do that is to pursue a permanent seat in UN Security Council. That's one of the ways they can do that. They can leverage on the common African position. They can equally leverage on the strong architecture of Nigerian military and the police force. We have a very strong military and police force. Nigeria can leverage that to pursue a seat in UN Security Council. Another thing that Nigeria can do, they can equally, they have the power to reform UN to gain relevance in addressing modern global challenges, to avoid being irrelevant whenever such challenges comes up. So Nigeria has the power to do that. Nigeria is highly committed when it comes to peacekeeping and security. When it comes to, based on this, in UN, Nigeria is the major troop contributor of military and police force in UN. So based on this, UN will leverage on that, the strength of Nigeria in military, to have upper hand, to even have voice when it comes to peacekeeping decision globally. Nigeria has the power to bring UN to that limelight. Then another thing Nigeria can equally do is that we know that Nigeria is highly committed in achieving the SDGs. If Nigeria is highly committed in achieving the SDGs, then the organization like UN they belong to should equally know that If Nigeria is committed, that organization is equally committed. Nigeria can leverage on their position in UN to drive this push. They equally can leverage their relationship with Commonwealth, African Union, and other organizations they belong to make sure that this goal come to reality. Finally, before I leave, Nigeria always reaffirm their commitment in human rights, rule of law, peace resolution of dispute. If Nigeria is highly committed to these cases, which means UN can leverage on that to be strong in them as well. So what Nigeria can do in UN, the role of Nigeria in UN for the future of that organization is highly enormous. So I pray that with this, the UN will strongly rely on the strength Nigeria has to be able to push this organization to a greater height. Thank you.
Please, applause, please. A wonderful round of applause. Thank you. For a few minutes, I'll be going for coffee break and networking. I'm sure some of us are seated close to our friends, brothers, sisters. I'd like everybody to please network, know who you are seated beside, and let's go for a few minutes of coffee break. Thank you. We'll be right back. And then when we come back, we'll go straight to the workshop and another very insightful section. Thank you. All right, thank you. All right, once again, I want to say a very big thank you to the representative of Mr. Desmond. Oh, sorry, Otumbo Femi Dada. Thank you so much for that very insightful section.
Abuja, we hail you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Coming all the way from Abuja, we appreciate you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And so we're going straight up to segment 1. If you look at the program before you, day 1, we're going to capacity building workshop. And the topic is?
Localizing the SDCs, tools for the CEOs and community leaders.
No. Localizing the SDGs, tools for CSOs and community leaders. And the anchor for this segment will be Reverend Professor Mark Neil Lamptey.
All the way from Ghana.
Yes, and Professor Chris Obisi. Please, you may come up now.
And please keep clapping. Wonderful round of applause for Professor Lamptey from Ghana.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, sir. Please keep clapping while he settles in.
Thank you very much. I would once again say a very good morning to you all, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It makes my pleasure to be with you today here in Lagos, Nigeria. It had been a long thought of dream, and I have been very excited with the earlier presentations made. First by Professor Olu Remi, and next by Professor Director of NIIA. And we continue. But the most important thing that I want to establish as we continue is that all that has been said are for humanity, are for us to do, and for our good. We never stop learning. I was so delighted with Professor Olutome's admonishment that we should never forget to leave a legacy. Leave a legacy. And he talked about the importance of forming partnerships and doing something in the life of somebody for a better tomorrow for that person. It will come back to you. God bless you. I salute you, Professor Olutome, for that thought-provoking speech. MC, my phone is with me. My phone, I will need it. Then the director of this institute also buttressed the importance of partnerships and said it was a verb, a doing thing. So if we do it, it will help us. Sometimes I'm surprised when such admonishments that will make us calm and we still don't do and we still find ourselves in challenges. Things that we can do to help us, we will not. But I remember when that small boy appeared in the world in 5 years ago, 2020, everybody was hiding in a room. Everybody, soldiers, they were on the streets, maintaining order for our survival. We were all afraid of that small virus. That small virus. But things that would help us, we are finding it difficult to comply for our own good. My admonishment is that what has been said, and we continue saying, and will continue to say, will have impact on humanity. I have an equation which says man must play his human part, and then the divine will also complement with his divine part. Let's play our part, and divinity will complement it for us. This segment has to do with the Sustainable Development Goals, which is the blueprint of the United Nations from 2016 through 2020. You can call it Agenda 2030. 2016 through 2030. How United Nations want to see the world after the Millennium Development Goals. Yes, yeah, Wi-Fi. So the 2000 to 2015 Millennium Development Goals, the achievements have been modeled into the Sustainable Development Goals from 2016 to 2030. And that is what the United Nations sees will help the whole world for a trouble-free world by 2030. So
ladies and gentlemen, we'll interrupt the session for a few minutes because of some technical glitch. While we're sorting that out, we'll take the next session. So we'll have Ambassador Sukomi to come give us the goodwill message while we regularize some things. Thank you. Please keep clapping. That's our chairman. Welcome, Ambassador. Sir.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Mwoki. My name is Ayo Lola Olukoni. Ayola Olukoni. That's my name. I'll be speaking tomorrow. Of course, I stand on existing protocols as usual, even though we in the Foreign Service don't like that. You must spell out the protocols too as well. But like I said, I serve as the chairman of BOT of UN Association of Nigeria, UNAN. And I want to apologize for members of UNAN who say that, which kind of chairman be this one we don't even see for some time. But we stay at the back to support what you're doing. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm most delighted. Tomorrow is my day, but I thought I should also come today to have a feel of what exactly. I went to the Great Ife, and then I left Ife 1979. 1979. I was 70 March recently, March 22nd. Then I joined the Foreign Service 1980. 82, 83, I was in Brussels, Belgium. It was my first taste of multilateralism. The ACP, EU, Lomé Convention. Then I came back home. Then I went to University of Lagos to do a postgraduate course in international economic law. Then I was posted to the permanent mission of Nigeria to the United Nations, New York. It was my first taste of practical issues, discussion, negotiation. It is what it means, not just theoretical. When I finished in New York, I was in New York 86, 89. Then I came back, the environment issue started, I became interested. I was part of preparation for the whole question of trafficking in persons, and I was also, of course, involved in the gender and development issue because I started my career on the third committee. The UN was talking about the question of Mexico conference. Then we have the conference, 1985, 4 women conferences. And don't forget, we had what we call the Better Life for Rural Women. Those of us who are old enough, how many of us are familiar with the Better Life for Rural Women? Thank you very much. They picked it from the forward-looking strategies for the advancement of women in Nairobi. A smart consultant packaged it, and Mrs. Babangida ran with it. I was involved in that. Then 1995, I was also involved in New York. 2015, thereabout, I finished It was in Vienna. I was appointed as Nigerian ambassador and posted to Australia, from Austria to Australia. And I had concurrent accreditations, New Zealand, Fiji, Papua New Guinea, and Vanuatu. You know, Austria and Australia, they're always confused. The Austrians were fed up. They had a T-shirt. No, we are Austrians. There are no kangaroos here. And there is a joke that in Sydney, they do have a place, people who miss their flight, who are going to Austria end up in Australia. So they usually arrange. But long story short, that's been my own affair. That's been my own journey as far as the UN. So it's not, when you're talking about the UN, it's not that I read about it, studied about it. I sat down. I served in 3 of the UN headquarters to discuss all this, including the whole question and issues of, third committee issue, definition of the family. Is the family, husband, wife, and children. And one of the women from South Africa asked me, Ayo, that's my first name, if your father did not have 2 wives, we're sure your grandfather has 2 wives. And my grandfather had 3 wives. And then we're asking me, is your grandfather and those wives not a family? Let us leave that for discussions and all that. But when I finished, I now went on to become the Director General of the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines, and Agriculture. I retired. I left that 2022. Said I was a little bit tired. Let me try and see if I can put some of the things. But I've been also consulting. But before I leave, I want to strongly recommend this book. This is UN Ideas That Changed the World. You can Google it. You see, UN Ideas That Changed the World by Ronald Jolly. These are people who worked in the UN about. Implicitly, the world will live into the advancements in the area of women, even the issue of Nigeria as an independent country can all be traced to the UN. So we're all here to continue the discussion of how the UN changed the world. And I sincerely wish us all the very best. I don't think the human race, that's the only place where we live. That's where all of us are. Because we used to tell some people that if you are not comfortable where we are, you can pack your load and just go up, either to the moon or to Mars. And ironically, the UN had the Moon Treaty, 1969, thereabout, when Yuri Gagarin went up, and he came back, he said, I'm up here, I did not see God here. Oh. The UN Moon Treaty, it's yet to be signed today. Apparently, maybe because people are still doing something outside in there. But a lot of the difficulties and issues of global common we have today, where else can we discuss them other than within the framework of the UN? And that's why multilateralism will continue to be a very important thing. And I want to say thank you to UNAN. The UNAN issues comes within the framework of NGOs in New York, because I also was involved in question of coordinating the UNAN, on the First Avenue, which is where the UN headquarters is located. I want to say thank you to the NIA. I want to say thank you to all of you. I want to say thank you to each and every member of UNAN for what, you know what I mean? Thank you, Ms. Ipoma, everybody, and all those who are here. Thank you for keeping the flag flying, and that this organization has not, gone on. I sincerely looking forward to seeing you maybe in New York. The UN General Assembly is still going on, and if not, at least please let's make sure that the Commission on the Status of Women, the next one is in March, and I strongly recommend that the UNAN must make sure that they attend. It's the next, as far as women issues. I have no option other than to be on the side part of the women. I have 4 wives, my wife, and 3 daughters. I had to go and learn how to do gele now. I mean, I'm not joking. I'm saying practically, I'm telling you, as a man in the house, the sizes of the shoes, everything I know. And the gender issue is real. It's for real. Maybe perhaps we should hand over the country to the next first female president of Nigeria. Thank you very much, man.
Please, can we keep the hands going? That's Ambassador Sukomi. I always enjoy his stories and his travels. Keep clapping. So without so much ado, still on workshop 1. So we have here Professor Chris Obisi, all the way from UNILAG. Please, can we give him a hand of applause?
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much. Standing on the already well-established protocol. But I wouldn't want to start without thanking President Oluremi Olutimo for his tireless efforts. In seeing that Nigeria and Africa would rise again. I'm asked to speak on localizing MDGs. Localizing MDGs. There are 8. If I'm correct, there are 8. Established 2000. How many years now? 2000. And the timeline should be 15 years, right? 15 years. If you look at the 8 of them, how many of them have we done well, starting from poverty? How many of them have we done well? How many of them? To eradicate poverty and hunger. Achieve universal primary education. Promote gender equality and empowerment. Wow. Reduce child mortality. Improve maternal health. Combat HIV and AIDS. Ensure environmental sustainability. And last but not the least, what? What was the last one? What was the last one? Develop what? A global partnership for what? For development. See, the silence witnessed in this hall is a painful example that these 8 MDGs are not being practiced religiously to ensure the achievement of all. So I would want to suggest for a social contract starting from today. A social contract between, in fact, rename it, this acronym, PPPCC. PPPCC. Public, private, people, community collaboration. If we are going to realize these 8 MDGs. Public, in other words, from local government, state government, private, federal government, public sector, private sector, communities, individuals, everyone, from every nook and cranny, from every village, from every hamlet, everywhere in Nigeria and Africa. Because these 8 items are critical, without which no country, no nation will develop, because they're so relevant. So we are asking for a relaunch. With a social contract, we are asking for a relaunch of all these goals, because they are critical to the life of the country. Without them, we cannot move forward. The next item, we need a new mindset in this country. We need a new mindset in Africa. We cannot continue like this. We cannot. Nigeria and Africa have missed the bus. The bus has gone so far and are trying to catch up. But we don't think that Nigeria and Africa can catch up in all this. Why? Because there is so much greed and selfishness in Nigeria and in Africa. If we don't kill these two demons, these two dangerous elephants in the room, we are not going anywhere. The quest for self, rather than common good, is destroying Nigeria and Africa. You cannot go anywhere. Nobody wants to be his or her brother's keeper. Nobody. All of us. And it's not good for the country. So I want to look at the issue of poverty, which is number one. How do we tackle poverty? We need to empower our people. Unfortunately, one of the greatest enemies of poverty is inflation. I'm starting with poverty because that's what is doing me now, Seth. Even as a professor, yes. Let me start from the one that is doing me now. Because this poverty is everywhere. And if you have inflation, how do you deal with poverty? There's one, I was in India I left Nigeria in 1984. Got my first degree, my master's degree, my PhD in India in the span of 9 years. From 1984, I came back 1994 to Nigeria, did my youth service. There was something I carried from India to this country. Simple living and high thinking. We need a new mindset in this country. We must Africa must imbibe this philosophy of life. Simple living and high thinking. Without it, we are not going anywhere. Mahatma Gandhi once said that you can satisfy everyone's need, but not everyone's greed. That is the danger, that is the demon that is dealing with Africa. Because of greed and selfishness, poverty will abound. But if you want to reduce poverty, the only way out is for all the stakeholders to collaborate. Government, private sector, individuals collaborate and empower the people. Empower your people. Don't give your people fish. In any country where you're giving people fish, you're simply perpetuating what? Poverty. You need to empower them so that they can start catching fish. That's what we need in Nigeria and in Africa. And inflation is not doing us any good. Because once there is inflation, the little amount of money that Nigerians, Africans are earning will be eroded. As a professor, my salary is 700,000 naira. Not net, not net. 700,000 naira as a professor, Nigerian University. I have 5 children. Is that too much? I have 5 children. I pay for house rent, pay for feeding. In fact, I tell my wife, you went and married a professor, you should married a businessman. Because she will say, pepper money is going up, Gary money is going up. I say, please, for this soup, add more water. He said, for what? I said, please, add more water. I live inside University of Lagos. For energy, for light, we spend 20,000 naira every 5 days. In other words, 200 naira per unit of electricity inside Unilag. This is a public sector institution. And you're spending 20,000 what? Every 5 days on electricity. That's why what we are saying, let us stop deceiving ourselves. This government everywhere in Africa, must do one thing. There are critical areas that subsidy should come back to. We have subsidy in energy sector, in transportation, in health, in education. You're not going anywhere. As a small business owner, you cannot survive in your business without energy. And if energy is beyond your reach, what kind of business are you doing? So issue, solar, other alternatives to make energy affordable for every Nigerian. We are lacking infrastructure in Africa. Unfortunately, this is the only country I know that citizens are vandalizing infrastructure. I'm from Enugu State. 2 months ago, I was running through the Niger Bridge. That's the second Niger Bridge. Beautiful place. Go there. Breeze that we blow you think that you're in another country. Suddenly, the driver stopped. We say, why are you stopping? It's risky. He said, no, that they have vandalized one of the something so they cannot pass. Can you imagine? And when they actually say because of poverty, that's why we need a new mindset in this country. If we want all these MDGs to succeed, we need to collaborate. Everyone need to collaborate. Another point that is very dear to me is the issue of gender equality and empowerment. Why do we play to the gallery in this continent? Why do we love eye service in this continent? What is the matter with you people? Because I'm not among. Sorry, I'm among. It's all of us. It's all of us. It's all of us. We are looking for a homegrown solution. We need to look inwards. You can think global, but you should act local. Charity begins at home. That's what we need in this country and in this continent. Without which we're not going anywhere. I was so happy. I called my daughter, Victoria, 22 years. I said, come. Daddy, what is it again? Just come. I'm not shouting at you. Just come. See television. Arise. What's there? A female vice president in Nigeria, a young girl your age. You saw 2 days ago. He acted as a VP for 1 day. My daughter said, Daddy, for this picture I'm seeing, I must become the president of Nigeria, not even VP. So you can see that this symbolism that took place 3 days ago, how it has affected my daughter. And we hope it will affect every other girl child in Nigeria and in Africa. But it cannot work because of the selfishness of the people at the National Assembly. India, the population of India is the highest in the world today. But they have quota system that women are represented in their National Assembly. In other words, in a particular 30%, let us domesticate it by law that 30 or 40% of women must be in the House of Reps. If we win, what's the number? Number 5. If you want it to materialize, there must be a law that in the House of Reps, there must be 30 or 40%. What's the Beijing Declaration, Seth? What did he say? What did he say? The Beijing Declaration. Women, you don't understand what Beijing Declaration. Yes, I think they say 35% or 40% by law. Yes, Prof is an oracle in that area. 35% of our women must populate the House of Reps, House of Senate, State Assembly, even governorship. In India, they trust women more than men in India. I don't know why. They trust them in terms of responsibility. They trust them more. So what we are saying, let us abandon lip service. Lip service is a major problem facing Nigeria and Africa. Let us practicalize this. Thank God the First Lady of this country is a politician. She's doing well, going all over the country, trying to empower the youth, the young girls. But they should go further to hold this National Assembly by their, no, I don't want to say it, by their what? By anything. Hold them by anything. That before this 2027 election, if we want this gender equality and empowerment to bear fruit, that by law, 35%, if they do that, women empowerment, gender equality would bear fruits. You can see what is going on now. I think in Namibia, woman is there, right? Is it Namibia? Many countries, even in Africa. Look at Japan 2 days ago. 2 days ago. What's happening in Nigeria? You go to National Assembly, Senate. I think how many women are there in Senate in Nigeria? How many? Maybe 3 or 4 or 5. Shame on you. Shame on Nigeria. 3 or 4 or 5. For what? And if they even want to kill, not even want to remove, they want to kill even the few that are there. God will not allow them. God will not allow them. So please, I don't want to waste much of your time. What we are trying to say is this, that all these 8 MDGs, we require a new mindset in Nigeria and in Africa. My people, all things must what? Pass away, and all things must become new. If we don't adopt this strategy, we will remain where we are. In fact, I don't want to go without saying this. You know, 2 years ago, God laid something in my spirit. So I talked to Dr. Emmanuel Ojibo, that we have this idea that we transform Nigeria and Africa. He said, what is it? That he will support it. He said, are you sure? We want to document as a homegrown solution. We want to document the ideas of Nigeria's great minds. Document them in 2 books, Business Management and Environment, and Development and Political Thought. All these business gurus, late Omolayole, Kolade, Elumelu, Dangote, Oshunkeye, document their ideas. Ojibo, document their ideas in a book. Take their ideas to schools, universities, corporate Nigeria. Let us be reading their ideas, just like we read Peter Drucker, Taylor. People come all the way from America to do a PhD on the ideas of Plato and Aristotle on governance. When we have Awolowo, Nkrumah, Zik, Ahmadu Bello, why can't we use our own local ideas? The second book is on development. Awo's ideas, Zik, Ahmadu Bello, Okonjo-Iweala on development, Akinwumi Adesina on development. That's the second book. Let us document their ideas. Their ideas can help Nigeria and Africa. And he said in support of it. So we are asking every Nigerian, we need to look inwards as charity begins at home. Let us localize this idea. Thank you so much. We need action now. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. I think he deserves a better round of applause. Wow.
Sir, I can see all the women smiling when you were talking. Please, a wonderful round of applause for the man of the women. Sorry, for the man of the people. It's the man of the people. That gender equality, all the women were just smiling. I mean, they were so happy. I can tell this is your best speech ever. Am I speaking your mind? Am I speaking your mind? I'm not a woman. I am also. I'm very happy. I am very happy because at some point in my marriage, I'm thinking my wife can be a breadwinner for 1 week. Yes, because the stress is too much for men. Sir, you said you have 5 children. 5 children. And from the look on your face, you look like you are still productive. You look like, I just have 3. I'm already tired. 1 coming. So 1 is still coming. Is it from the same woman at home or the one away? Yeah, but you are the one doing things. Wow, 5 children. Sir, you are trying, no? You are trying. The school fees of my children, I took my son to go and start school. They told me for a term, 470,000. And that only is the annoying, that is the one annoying me. And I asked the woman, I said, is it that from this kindergarten, from here she's going to NYC? Because I don't know why I should be paying 472,000 naira for a child that I don't even know his future yet. Next year we increase. Professor, you are threatening me. I don't like this. Wow, a wonderful round of applause for Professor. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I mean, Professor came with a speech, but he did not use it. He spoke from the heart. Oh, all the ladies say, oh. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I so much enjoyed your section. Thank you.
That was quite
insightful.
Insightful. Very nice. So let me just give a quick summary on all that he spoke about. I know my compare had already gone far ahead with softening things with our ladies. I'm sure everybody was smiling as he said. I was smiling myself. So he talked about the 8 Millennium Development Goals, the 8 MDGs. I hope we have it on our fingertips. He talked about eradicating extreme poverty and hunger. He talked about achieving universal primary education. He talked about the promote gender equality and empower women, reduce child mortality. That's the 4th one. The 5th one, improve maternal health. He talked about combating HIV, AIDS, malaria, and other diseases. He talked about ensuring environmental sustainability. And lastly, which is the 8th goal, he said, develop a global partnership for development. And he recommended, well, it's still ongoing, public-private partnership. It's still a thing. We're still on it. It's work in progress. It's happening here in Nigeria. And he recommended that there should be a relaunch to a social contract to all these goals. How many of us are relaunching, are part of that campaign? How many? How many?
I think we should have more of the ladies' hands up because this man encouraged
with all the smiles, because I mean these 8 MDGs seem like it's a women, you know.
I thought he spoke about gender equality.
Yeah, gender equality.
So the women's hand should be more than the men's
hand. So let
me
ask the question again. Maybe they didn't get it. Let me reframe. So how many of us will be part of this relaunch to this social contract to all these 8 goals? Please, let's keep it going so that the camera would.
Can the women say, "Oh"?
Oh.
If you are relaunched, you say, "Oh."
Okay, so that's the new mindset he's talking about. That
of course.
We should all have this new mindset in Africa. The funny part was that he said we missed the boss. He said we missed the boss, that because of the greed and the quest for self, which is preeminent, especially in our country, than pursuing common good. So I think it's a no to poverty.
Yes.
Empowerment is the goal,
yes,
and the focus, and enemy is inflation. Were we not paying attention? Was I the only one taking notes? Yes. And he recommended a simple living and a high thinking. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Prof. We'll be going to the third session because our second workshop is not there. Please keep your questions down.
Yes.
Keep your questions down. Once we take the third session, we'll be taking questions from the floor.
Yes.
So if anything is bothering you, we'll have all our speakers, on the seats. They will take your questions. So let's take the third session before we go out for lunch. And that will be the youth leadership and advocacy for global citizenship. This will be anchored by Oluwatobi Aigbogun and Great Joshua Aluko. Please, you may come forward now.
Oluwatobi Aigbogun. Is he around?
Is he around?
I'm not sure. I can see.
Okay, he's online. I think he's showing up online, so we'll wait for the media report. Okay. But is Mr. Tino Ade Oguntuyi and Dr. Arinze Madrike here? Okay, no. So we'll put down the question. So we'd like to have all our panelists come back. Is he? Okay, so let's take Mr. Joshua Aluko for this third session. Youth leadership and advocacy for global citizenship. Keep clapping, keep clapping. It's not easy. It's a lot of preparation to be on this hot seat. So let's keep clapping and cheer him on until he gets here. Keep clapping. That's our youth, the future.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So pleased to be here. I'm Great Joshua Aluko, and I just want to say a big thank you to Professor Oluremi. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. Can we put our hands together for him? Thank you so much. And big thank you to every one of you also for being here today. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come together for the development of our society and of our world as a whole. In order not to take too much of our time, I will just go straight into the discussion of today, which is youth leadership and advocacy for global citizenship. Now, I would say it in relations with the sustainable development goals. And in no particular order, when we are talking about youth leadership, what are we really saying? Well, when we are talking about youth leadership, we are talking about, us motivating our youth, equipping them so that they could enact change in our society, positive changes that will lead to the development of humanity. This is very important. And I love using practical examples a lot because it just drives home the point. You see, where you find problems, when there are problems, that is your opportunity to create change. You see, where you see problems, a lot of problems, that means that for you to identify the problem, it means that you most likely carry the seed of solution. Most people don't know this. And I'll be using myself as an example, a couple of my friends. When you see a problem, my first reaction is not to criticize and talk and, no. I'm thinking, what can I do? I've seen the problem. That means I know that situation is not supposed to be like that. So how do I change it? How do I make it what it's supposed to be? Several years back, I was in school and my friend, she was sitting on a chair and then she stood up, and when she stood, there were blood stains on the chair where she was sitting. And her friends started laughing at her. So she ran out of the classroom. I'm talking about university. She ran out of the classroom. And I'm like, I felt bad. So I followed after her. She went into the ladies' toilet, then she came outside. And I'm like, what happened? Are you injured? She said, no, that, she has she's menstruating and she doesn't have money for sanitary pad, and so she had to use hanky, but it didn't work and all that. And she was telling me the situation at home, no father again, and the mother cannot really foot the school fees, and now she has not even paid her school fees. I know exam was getting close, she has missed a couple of tests. And another friend of mine, Miriam, said, Joshua, can you help us put money together? Stand in front of the class. I don't know why she came to meet me, but for some reason she did. Stand in front of the class. Talk to them. Let's put money together for this girl. And then I got to know about another student in the same situation. So, for some reason, I did. And we put money together, and I became so enthusiastic about it to the point that I remember going home for a short break for a weekend, and I told my mom about it. And my mom was like, wow. And my mom gave me money, and I brought the money back to school, and we added it to the money, and we were able to pay the school fees of the two of them. So when that happened, something rose up within me that we could do this more. We could effect this change more. So I called a few of my colleagues and I said, you know what? Let's do something. Let's help the students. And we started. And we officially launched the foundation officially with CAC 2015. As I'm talking to you today, we have paid the school fees of 1,536 students. 1,536. And guess what? We have never applied for grants. We've never applied for grants. And, when I started out after school, my family members called me, God bless their heart. They said, we want you to go and work here. I said, no. We want you to work there. I said, I don't think that's what God wants me to do. We want you to travel here. I said, I will travel, but not just yet. I think I have a mission in this country for now. And I told them what I wanted to do. And I remember they were like, are you out of your mind? The people who do things like this have already made it in life. And now they're giving back to the society. I said, well, true. But for some reason, I believe this is what God wants me to do now. And so that's what I'm going to do. And so I started out officially. It was not necessarily easy. It was stressful. In fact, there were several times where I would go out to work. I'm very versatile. I'm dynamic in nature. I can do this. I can speak. I can coordinate events. And I still do events. I can arrange events. I can do several things. So I will make money from there. Then put it in the foundation to pay the school fees of the students. And little by little, people started seeing the results. They started seeing the result. Then suddenly, I had someone who would say, you know what, I want to support you with 100,000. Then later, it turned to, I want to support you with 500,000. Then I think from 500,000, one day a woman saw me, she said, I see this your post on Facebook. You are so committed. Come and see me in my office. I think I have something for you guys. So we went to see in our office, and for the first time, I remember we were planning for a project for students, and she said, I'm going to support. I did my presentation, and while I was doing my presentation, she was looking at me like this. So in my mind, I was like, sorry, but this was the thought I was going on in my mind. I be woman, you believe story meaning. I be she thinks I'm lying. I hope our documents are complete so that I can give her proof. After speaking, she said, I don't need your paper. She said, you know what? I already know in my heart what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 2 million to support the project. And that was how we moved. And then after then, we started having people who gave us millions till now. And then there are people who will say, you know what? I want to sponsor 10 students. What happened? How did I move from being with my colleagues, planning to finish school, to enter into the labor market? How did I move from there into becoming a change maker? It's all about identifying. The ability to identify problems and prefer solutions. It's extremely critical. We can talk about problems from today till 100 years. If we are not ready to make that move, as a matter of fact, the students we paid for is just one part of the story. We've given out writing materials, clothing materials to over 20,000 students. We've organized 67 major conferences. Now, all these things, I mean, you could see them online. And then last year, early last year, I thought to myself, I said, why keep this knowledge to yourself when you can bring up more youths and get to know their ideas, get to know their vision, and then impact them with the know-how on how to execute it with or without grants. Because you see, grants are beautiful, but what if you don't get them? Does that mean your project will be stagnant? It shouldn't be. So I called, I had a conference, I went to speak in some schools, and I called some people, some students who I told them, if you have visions and ideas that you know can impact the world, and you want to make a change, why put down your names? And they did. And last year, December, I was able to graduate 61 new NGOs, youth NGOs, from just that. And I can say categorically that almost half of them, between late last year and now, have executed their second project successfully. So what are we doing? We are creating a world in which the youths are not hoodlums. They are not property destroyers. They see the problem, and once they see the problem, they fix it. They see the problem. I remember, something happened. I was talking with my team. I said, we're going to start up a new NGO because I saw something, and I saw the problem. I was moved. But now, you see, because I know that by the grace of God, I can generate solutions from within. So you see, I'm not waiting to say, oh, these people are supposed to do this. Oh, those people. No. I just sat back, prayed about it, and as I'm talking to you, we are launching another major NGO in the country by next year, February. Now, how I think Prof has been to our new office facility. We started out, and someone, by the way, that is a beautiful thing also, because, one of our partners saw us and he said, I love what you are doing, but you need an office. I said, yeah, we need an office. And he said, come see me. So I went to see him, and he said, do you like this office space? Well equipped, air conditioned, everything, conference table, everything. And he said, you know what? I think you guys should be using it. And I said, sir, this thing will cost about maybe 1.2 million or 1 million or at least 800,000. He said, no, don't worry. You just be using it. You need a physical location. And you know that we used it for the next 7 years. We didn't pay a dime. And from there on, recently I said, you know what? We've outgrown this office. So let's move into a bigger office. Let's stretch ourselves. After all, if we are going to take on the world, we have to take that step of faith. So we checked out this big facility. It's a duplex. It's big. It's massive. And my team were like, oh, great, Josh. We know that you're crazy, but just reserve your craziness for now. I said, we are going to use that. And guess what? 2 of our partners stood up, and I told them about it. And they stood up and they said, you know what? We are going to fund the building. We're going to get you the building, and they made the payments. Now, what am I saying? For youths, do not wait until you have the complete resources before you move. Nobody likes someone who talks and no action. Some people are complaining that, I want to do this, I have this idea, nobody's helping me. Maybe they have not seen your commitment enough. You see, I do say this. I sold my first car to fund the NGO. They thought I had lost my mind. They honestly thought I had lost my mind. Now I'm giving practical examples, but I'm talking about youth development. Youth, if you will stay in your comfort zone, you will not develop, no matter how many seminars you attend. The effectiveness of the knowledge you receive is implementation. Come rain, Come son. I remember when I sold my first car, they thought I was crazy. It's like boboyi. And I didn't tell anyone, I didn't tell my family members before I did, because they would have told me no. So I sold it, I paid for the school fees, and I was trekking I was using Uber, sometimes trekking for almost 3 years. But guess what? Not too long ago, one of my partners called me, and she was like, do you have a car now? She's in California. And I said, oh, no, not yet, but I believe soon. She said, you need a car. You can't be walking around. You are the president. And I said, well, she said, do you have a car in mind that you like? I said, well, I saw one car like that. It's a Jeep like that. It's really fine. But I'm sorting out students for now, She was like, that is not my question. Go and get the amount of the car for me. So I went to the car dealer. I asked the owner of the car who wanted to sell the car, and I asked, the car is in good shape, and he told me the price. So I said, it is not my mouth that will say this price to her. So I said, ma, let me give you the contact of the dealer. You speak to him directly. And she spoke with the person directly, and she called me back. She said, you know what? I'm going to pay for the car, but I'm going to pay twice, okay? So I'll make the first payment now, then I'll let you know when I complete the payment. Guess what? She completed the payment, called me while I was in the office, and told me to go pick my car. Now, what am I saying? Dear youths and dear parents, you have to be willing to take that bold step. The problems in the world, some of them existed before you were born. So you have to be adamant and resolute in your decision to cause a change. Look at the likes of Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther. They didn't have it easy all through. They went through some mess where others turned back. They stood their ground. Now we are celebrating, Nelson Mandela Day. We are celebrating Martin Luther and all that. But are we willing to pay the sacrifices that they paid to effect the change that we now enjoy? So it's not just all about the talking is good. It starts from the talking. It starts from the meditating, the coming together. But you must take actions, and you must take it most especially when you don't feel like it. There are times I would wake up and I would be like, today I don't want to hear any student call my name. I do feel it. But you know what? By the time I check my message, I'll be like, I'm not going to check my phone. By noon, I'll look through my phone, and then I'll be like, sorry, how many minutes more? Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll look through my phone, and by the time I see that message, I'm driven to help. And sometimes even when you help, it does backfire because we're dealing with people. There are people that you help, and they may get back at you. They may hurt you. That shouldn't stop your decision to help. You are not helping them because they deserve it. You are helping them because the change is needed. You see, you have to have a strong resolution why you do what you do, because there will be challenges and discouragements along the way. And then, global citizenship, is just for us to take what I have said and broaden the scope into the global stage. You are creating solutions to problems, not just for your immediate community or your nation, but for the entire world. Because you are first a human being before you are a Nigerian. Are we together? So, and when we do this together, when we put our resources together, when the youths, you come out of your comfort zone and you stand in a place of solution provider, I tell you, you will see people come to you. The problems in the world, remember that there was a time we needed faster transportation. Then airplane came. Then we needed faster communication. The internet came. So then there was a time, malaria was a killer. Now, there is a solution. The same way. For every problem, there is a solution. But you must have a mind shift from being the victim to the solution provider. And that is how we, the youth, will conquer our world. Thank you, and God bless you.
Please, I think you can do better. You can do better.
Thank you.
I mean, for someone who sold his car to fund an NGO, you can do better. For someone who trekked for 3 years, hello, please, a wonderful round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy this wasn't preached in the church. The reason is because we are used to castigating men of God, cajoling members to give so that God can give back to them. This is just the law of life. I mean, whoever you help, the moment you put a smile on people's face, I mean, God remembers you one day. Imagine somebody sold his car to fund an NGO. He didn't buy, Louis Vuitton, but he funded an NGO, and then someone else bought him a car. I'm sorry, do you still have the contact of the lady that bought you? Because you trekked for 3 years, right? Almost mine, I trekked for 2 years after selling my phone. I just bought a new, let's forget that, but that person that helped you, is it only you she has in mind? I so much enjoyed your section. Thank you so much for all you do. And the thing is that is an avenue to do more. So I believe that there are so much ahead to do, and the grace to carry on is given unto you. Please, lastly, a wonderful round of applause to this man that trekked for almost 3 years. So, all right.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Luko. We're already motivated on behalf of the youth.
Of course.
Mamas like us are already motivated on behalf of the youth. So, as always, he gave a very insightful talk, motivating our youth so that they can enact positive change in our society. He was able to identify the problems that the youth have, and he said all youths, including adults themselves, all of us here present, so long you can identify a problem, you carry the solution, the seed of solution. I think we should give him a round of applause for that, because it's an aha moment for most people. So we're all solution providers and not just problem identifiers. And he talked about the 61 youth NGOs that he has established. Another round of applause for him. For a young man that is tall and creating a world where youths are actively engaged as change makers. That is his mantra, and that is a good mantra. And he said that you do not have to wait till you have the complete resources before taking action. So today is the best day to start. He talked about implementation as the effectiveness of knowledge you received. So it's not just hearing about it, but the doing part is the most difficult, and that is the most effective way to show that you actually gained that knowledge. And he charged all of us to take the bold step today, be resolute about that step, and take action today. Another round of applause for our young man, Mr. Luko. Mr. Luko, we are giving you an applause, so please receive it. Without so much ado, we have come to the second segment, one of the highlights of today's session. Our president, Professor Remi Olutimo, will be taking the stand so that he can give out
the
awards to our youth. He has a big one coming. Another round of applause for our prof. Mr. President, please.
Please keep clapping.
Keep clapping till he comes.
You are doing that for the president. A very selfless man. Please keep clapping.
Keep clapping.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And also I want to thank everyone for taking this time to stay, be our mates, but we're trying as much as possible to make sure that we close early, not at the 4:30 that is there, but to surely make sure we close as soon, because Lagos, we're rushing Lagos now. but we're never in a hurry. Now, I always say something, I may be in hurry, but not in haste. So maybe thank you very much. We're giving this award. I wish, I hope, or what will I say again, you guys will be at the World No Tobacco Day competitions amongst secondary school. We organized it, of course, across not only Lagos or Ogun State. It was very, please try and maybe reach out to us to watch the video. It was televised. It was an amazing. Our students, I'm proud of Nigerian students. I've gone around though. I've run around Africa, I've traveled, I went to the Caribbean, but let me tell you something. There's just that uniqueness about Nigeria that God put in us. Apart from this shock absorber system we have in our body, Nigeria get time. You know, myself and my prof, we were talking something. We said Nigeria. We were reasoning, you know, when two brains are clashing, it end up being disastrous. So we were just deciding. I said, do you know one thing? When Nigeria, you push Nigeria, push against the war, Nigeria will not fight you back. His brain is working. He will dig through the wall and go to the other side, make you to waste your time. The next time you see Nigeria, that's a war that you are beating in, he will sell it to you. So that is how wonderful we are. Sincerely, we're amazing. In China, when I was doing my days, thank God, in my master, I came out with distinction. And hardly will I don't stay in class. It's business. I was looking for, as a student now, some Nigerian women want to buy something in China. So like a third party, bring. We all zoom through and help them to organize it and send it down to them. That is how we're surviving, because I was on scholarship, $100. $100, no, we survive Nigeria, no. But it's okay for the other countries that came together with on scholarship on Beijing then. But to me, that was no good though. So we were doing that. So anytime I come to the class, it was always amazing. So our students, really, I'm proud of them. Every year, May 30th, we organize under United Nations World No Tobacco Day. And it's always bringing students together, bringing blame, crashing on World Health Organization topic theme for that day. And in this, private school, public school, I want to use this minute to appreciate Ikeja Grammar School. They are not here, but help me appreciate them. See, public school are hurt, although I'm a product of primary school. But no. Ikeja, the English, we have this contour, but it was amazing. One particular girl, she nearly finished us with grammar. But thank God we were able to absorb it as a Nigerian. Thank you. So with this, there's a particular boy that stood up, and I promised him personally that you need a tool to work. And that tool, I wanted to go and present it in the school, but I said no. Let me honor that person, that boy, on a wall seat, because it will go a long way in a memory. And who knows, it may be the president we're looking for that will cause change in his generation. So with this, I want to appreciate him. And he's here. Please come here. The name. Okay. Okay. Thank you. His name is Akinoluwa from West Spring College. Although all the other very hot secondary school that we brought, I didn't expect that these people would come and be the best. It was amazing. We have dignitaries from ministry that came that day, but they were outstanding. Please clap for them. And then with this, I want to say thank you, and I'm expecting more from your school. Please don't produce idiots. produce brain. Because I believe that I do say something, when you're in the midst of idiots, you become one yourself. So try to create you. You started. You're a leader. They don't have to tell you. And don't wait for platform. All these we grown-ups, we cannot create that platform for you. If not, our forefathers, past president, could have created a platform for us. But they keep promising us we're the leaders of tomorrow. But don't they hold now? I'm still waiting for that word. But I have to create the platform. And that platform is bringing me here to stand as the president for you today. So please, in your mindset, others can, you cannot. Focus. Focus. Your mindset has to be strong. You understand me? Believe you're a change maker. Even though your family, they may not support your dream, they may not, but believe in yourself. It's only my mom that supported my dream. My dad said I'm a rascal. So because of a rascal, you know, men will always be men. They just not living. But my mom said, you can change. You can change. And she always says something, let your enemy live long and see what you're going to be in the future. So I say, Mom, thank you. So that day, before I hand over the day, you know, my real name is Olabiwanu. That was the name Daddy gave me. But when my mom gave me that word, I changed it to Oluwaremilekun. That was the name she gave me. And today, I am wiping away tears by the grace of God. It's not Olabiwanu. So maybe many, I could have got them annoyed through riches. But I changed the name. So sometimes names go a long way with you. So please, go make a difference. And also the girl, I want to appreciate her too. She was outstanding, very outstanding. Please help me clap for her. And I also want you to know that I'm a strong advocate for the girl's child. Yesterday we organized, was it yesterday? Day before yesterday, I did the International Day of the Girl's Child. It was massive. We thank God. And we've started what we call some SDG projects for the girl's child in Nigeria. So with this, I'm going to enlist you as one of the beneficiaries of the coding system for the girls. So when the company comes, you will give me your details. So you join. You're the number one. She was understanding. So please, let's support our guest child. But don't forget the boy's child. Because that boy's child will marry her. So if you forget him, the good you build in her will be threatened. So remember the boys. So with this, I also want to thank Greater Local. Thank you very much. You don't know what the guy is doing. He's paying school fees for thousands of Nigeria, even in the university. And no government support. Well done. Well done. So thank you very much. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. See, make I talk something broken.
Okay.
No use and watch film.
No use and play game.
No game. Yes, no use and do those. You understand? Word is for learning.
All work and learning, but not for that thing.
No, all work and no play. You listen to music. So please, use it. Let it produce money for you. Thank you.
Let it produce money, but at this point, I think it's time for question and answer, right?
So it's time. I know that hot question that is in your mind, you can now level it up. Can we have our speakers back
Please.
on the hot seat so that you can take questions from all the guests before we exit for lunch? Our panelists, please come. Prof has left. Where is Prof? Okay. Please, you can.
Yes, sir, yes.
While we're waiting for Prof, sir, you presented a paper. You are
Bishop.
Bishop. Huh? Oh, okay. Okay, goodwill. Okay, no more questions before we exit for break. Please, let's keep it short and simple. When Prof comes in, he will join the panel. Yes, can we have first question? Yes, Mr. Louis. Please introduce yourself and thank you.
You have said so much that have motivated us, and it has activated a kind of positive energy in me. And what I want to know is the membership to the United Nations, I mean UNA as it is now, is it readily open to everybody? And if it is, what does it entail? Thank you so much.
I think it would be best to collate all the questions, then our professors will respond. Please, can we take the second question?
However, my question today is for Mr. Great Joshua Aluko. So
Sorry, your name, please, so you can identify yourself and what you do.
My name is Deborah Eniola Onojuku, and I'm a student of the University of Lagos, a 400-level student of mass communication. So my question is for Mr. Great Joshua. You started this initiative, and it has impacted a lot of lives. However, when you started, how exactly did you know where to start from? I mean, we know the problem. Everybody knows that the problem of school fees and lack of funding in education is quite a visible problem in the nation, and it's everywhere. How exactly did you know the strategic positions, like the students to start with, where to, the leading, how you got the strategic positioning to start with this? And again, we know paying school fees of students can be a tricky position because, I mean, there's this initiative of young people that is school not scam. Some people are not necessarily, invested in education. Some people don't take the education system seriously. So how did you know, like, the strategic position in the students, the certain points, certain spark that got you to the certain students and the strategic position in the schools, how you found these students, and the generality of how it started? That's
all right, thank you. Next, who should I? Okay.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Ojiaga Integrity, a 300-level student of international relations and a passionate sickle cell advocate. My question goes for Mr. Great Joshua Aluko. I would like to know, in a world where everybody rejects an idea or puts a name tag or labels before they listen, how are you able to do what you do? How are you able to start up? Because now I have a bright idea, I have a glorious idea, but then, as I said, I'm a passionate sickle cell advocate. I'd like to start an NGO for sickle cells and everything, but how would I be able to do that when there's a name tag on every sickle cell patient around, when they're saying that, okay, they don't live long, when everybody, including the government, including every single person in power, neglect them totally. Like now, there are over 150,000 born each year. And that is about 25% of the healthcare. And Nigeria have no system for that. I've heard of doctors who don't know the meaning of sickle cell. And being a passionate young man.
I think your point is well made. How do you concretize the abstraction?
Yes,
Especially a question on the issue of sickle cell.
Yes, sir.
I work with Civil Sex Foundation of Nigeria. If there is time, I can also make a little bit of remarks in terms of how you can impact on that. We want two other questions. Who else is left?
Yes, sir.
Joshua, I think you've taken note of the first one will be answered also by the PRO, Mrs. Mboki. Don't forget your name and your...
My name is Adedi Toluwatosin. I'm a student of Ezade University. I'm a 400 level student. So my question is to Mr. Joshua. So about the NGO, I have a friend who lost her dad like over doing this hardship in Nigeria. So she went to an NGO in our state to ask them for assistance for her school fees, for her sister's school fees. And the NGO said that she'll bring over $1 million before they could help her and her sister. And she had like a deadline of school fees, of time that she's supposed to pay her school fees. But like, to pay her school fees, and she went back then that I didn't know like NGO, I didn't know like meant to like assist her to pay her school fees. Because her sister happens to be a medical student in Harvard University. And they have like a deadline for her to like pay her after her school fee before she can like enter school. And my friend, she's about to enter level law in my school. And there's no money. She has a sister that's about to enter school. She has a younger brother that's in primary school. And her mom does not even have also like 100K in her account. Because all their properties were all seized by their father's people. So I'm asking that if someone wants to apply for your NGO ANS, do they have to like pay like a certain amount of money? I have another question.
Thank you very much. I have
2 questions.
Which other question you want to ask?
I have another question.
Quickly.
For the man that spoke about gender inequality in Nigeria.
Oh, gender issue. Okay.
So how can we ensure that gender inequality policy in a country like Nigeria move beyond paper commitment to real life implementation?
Thank you very much. I think can we have
Thank
responses
you so much.
to those?
We'll have the last question, from a woman.
Okay. Please, your name and what
Thank
you do.
Thank you. My name is Mrs. Zubaida Umar, and I'm from the Nigerian Air Force Officers' Wives Association. So my question is to the professor who talked about gender inequality. To meet the needs of the Millennium Development Goals, it is essential we address gender inequality, which is equally linked to poverty. But the problem here is, addressing gender inequalities, we have to look at gender-based violence, which is on the, increase in our society today. And we have to address gender-based violence. And addressing gender-based violence, if we look at what is happening in Nigeria today, I think one of the things that it keeps on, having this to be repeated repeatedly is because of our justice system. Our justice system is weak. So how can we strengthen the justice system to avoid, impunity, so that these acts of gender-based violence can stop, and then we can fight this to achieve our MDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you. We'll take the last comment.
All right. My name is Choma Udona, a student of University of Lagos. So this is majorly a contribution to Professor Chris Obisi and Mr. Joshua Aluko. Everything you all are doing is so amazing, and I must say, is it really sustainable? Why I said is it really sustainable? Because we provide school fees for children, we do a lot of things for them, but then, how do you want them to continue? My solution or my contribution to this is that we should create an environment where these students, where these young people are given chance to grow their skills. a lot of people have talents that they want to do. And Mr. Chris Obisi said we want to have a change of mindset. How do you have a change of mindset? It's like giving a 3-year-old child a phone. And every day he keeps spoiling it, but you keep buying it for him. So every time we want to improve these people, we want to give them more opportunities, but then their mindsets are too low for all of these things. So what I propose is that we should all have a situation where these youths are being taught well, like their mindset is being worked on. They should understand what to do, how to get more money for themselves. And then using their creative skills and everything, we should be able to also assist them in all of this so that they can be able to make more money for themselves without necessarily relying on foundations or grants to help them.
Thank you very much. I think the point is well made. I think since Joshua has the bulk of the question in terms of how do we concretize the abstraction, which is what you're doing, I think we can give the floor to you to answer. Most of the questions were for you. Please, you can stand. Okay. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, everyone, once again. So I will just take the questions as I have them here. So the first lady, you're asking, how do you navigate through the process of selecting the students and, handling the issues of school and scam? Well, so we have a structured system, okay, whereby we put out application for scholarship. Number one is not just that, you came to meet us for scholarship and we paid. It doesn't happen like that. We have our systems in the school. We work with school authorities. We work with the friends, the HODs, every information. In fact, we go as far as getting partners. Some of our partners that will go to the student's home just to verify the situation, because students will still be students. You get what I'm trying to say? So, but we are not sent out to deal with the one who lied. We are only sent out to help the ones who need help. So once we do our screening and we find out that your case is genuine, we go ahead and make the payments. So once we have 5 stages of verification, once you cross those 5 stages, you are at least 98% genuine, which is okay. Do you get it? But of course, there are students who will be like, this NGO is giving 300K or more. You get that kind of thing. My 21 years birthday is set. It's a student thing. You get it? Kids do it for their parents too. So, but we find that out, we sort that out, and then we don't even consider you until you are in school. You see, you have to be in school, university, tertiary institutions majorly. That is what we focus on. We focus on tertiary institutions. So you have to have entered into the tertiary institution. At least you have your matriculation number. Do you get it? Then maybe something happened, the parents died or they lost their jobs or something. That is where we step in. Do you get it? So we save students from dropping out of school. In fact, at the moment, we are working on the case of 150 students, and we're already on number 76. So, yeah, so that is it. Thank you. Then the next question, you say, how do you handle your bright ideas when you are facing rejection, right? Well, so I will handle that partly, but Sir also talked about him, having more information about sickle cell. So you also gain a lot of knowledge from him. So from my perspective, you must get used to rejection. You overcome rejection. Rejection is an emotional blackmail of some sort. You handle it, you become a pro with it. Do you get it? Such that they slam it on your face and you keep moving. You believe in that idea. You have to believe in that idea enough that no rejection can stop you. I've met with people who told me, as in people that I know, they have money, they can easily give me $1 million as a den. And they told me, stop disturbing me, what are you doing, get out of my face, stuff like that. And I know they have the money. But you know what? You must learn to handle rejection without any form of bitterness. You get it? Because number one is, they are not the ones who gave you the idea. So they are not responsible for the idea. But your ability to master rejection helps you to see ahead and keep moving. And guess what? The fact that you believe in the idea, there are probably thousands of people that will believe just like you believe. So your walk of life is you finding those people Everybody does not have to believe in your idea for your idea to be a success. But the ones who will believe, as you move, as you tell them, they will believe, and before you know what happens, your idea will come to fruition. Okay? So Prof will handle the other part of that question. So then the third person here asked the question, how do you apply for a scholarship, and do you have to pay any amount? Well, thank goodness, no, you don't have to pay any amount. Our scholarship is free as long as you qualify, and we'll put you on the scholarship road. But I must say that we always have tons of requests. At the moment, we have over 3,000 verified applications. So once you apply, you qualify, and you can wait. Sure, you'll get it. I hope she's hearing. Okay, all right, thank you. Then the fourth person said, is the NGO work really sustainable? Well, November 26th, come November 26th, that's next month, 26th of November, we will be 10 years in operation. And yes, 10 years in operation. And just like you said, I will also agree with you, because we actually now hold workshops and seminars that train students not just to, be knowledgeable mentally, but on how to make money. You see, so that it's not that we paid for you this year, next year you are back, then the third year you are back, then after you graduate now you are back. In fact, we don't only pay school fees now, we train students on how to make money, how to do legit jobs that will get them money, and then we also even connect some of them after school into organizations, okay? But for us to connect you, it means we have trained you so that when you get there, you will not tarnish our image. Do you get it? So I hope I did answer all your questions as regards to us at GPF. Thank you very much. We're grateful.
Thank you very much. I would now request Prof to also make some few remarks in terms of some other opportunities too as well.
Thank you again for this fantastic opportunity. If you look at all the questions that everyone has asked, everything centers on empowerment. Everybody wants to be empowered. That's the key point. So government has a lot to do. Communities have a lot to do. Joshua, God bless you, what you're doing. Olutimo, well done. Ojibo, well done. But let's go further. Where are the women? Somebody talks about mindset. Somebody's about gender violence. If our men are perpetrating this violence, women are also, on the other hand. Where are the mothers? Where is the family? We can start changing the mindset from home. Start talking to those boys who will grow up and get married and start doing this violence. As a mother, do you discriminate that a gay child will be the one that will go and cook, help you in the kitchen when you're cooking food? Why not invite your boys also and your girls together to help you so that they can learn it at that age? That's how mindset is built. What we are saying is that the mindset of selfishness and greed must change. That's what we are saying. And let me talk briefly about NEL Fund. There is a policy of this federal government, and God bless them for this policy, that no Nigerian child will not go to university because you're poor. That is what NEL Fund is doing. Let everybody leverage on it. The DG NEL Fund, the MD NEL Fund, he called me when this program started, that some people from the East, they are not applying. I said, don't worry. We contacted Nigeria Governors Forum, all the traders, all the communities. Now everybody is coming for this NEL Fund. So try and leverage on that NEL Fund, but I think it's mainly of a federal university. Unfortunately, we hope that Nigeria will not happen to NEL Fund, because we could remember when this program started, we wrote to the MD that the destiny of Nigerian youth are in your hands. We want to support you. For example, what do we want to do? There must be evaluation. There must be assessment. We put 5 instruments for them to assess and evaluate and monitor the NELFund program. We wrote to him. We also say that there is also capacity building for all the stakeholders at NELFund, the beneficiaries. We can give them capacity building, like Joshua is saying, so that while you're in the university enjoying that NELFund, you can become a Mark Zuckerberg. So they can even start paying back even while you're in the university. As we speak to you today, the MD did not respond. We followed him to his church, at MFM Church. We met him there. He informed, he said, Prof, go and bring the proposal. We sent it to him. As we speak today, not a single response. Because when you monitor and evaluate a program, it will assist you to know whether it is working or not working well. That's why the Prof has assured us that all the deliberations, all the reports coming out of today's program will be sent to everywhere. And it will be monitored. It's going to be implemented. Because everybody needs empowerment. I hope I've touched on some of this.
Thank you very much, Prof. I think this is an additional one, and I'm sure that, like Joshua said, I do know young people who followed your path today. Rather than Jakba, they are in front of their computers, working and being paid in dollars. There's so many of them. And I guess these are some of the things which you, of course, you also...
Sorry to interrupt, Prof. There must be a law. There must be a law. We have to have a law in this country on this empowerment, on gender violence, and also a law on women participation in governance in the country.
Thank you, Prof. I started being involved with the gender and development issues in 1987, third committee issues. I have papers on gender and development issues. Practically, I was part and parcel of those issues. The whole question of law, which we talked about, maybe time, one of these days, the question of gender and development, we will address it. I'm very close with it. COAN. COAN stands for Country Women Association of Nigeria. It was started by late Mrs. Bisi Ogunleye. She refused to come to Lagos. She said she was going to operate from Akure Axis. I met her in the UN, and the World Bank is not shy of giving her $1 million for women in that. I'm not talking tales. I'm talking reality. We also had women in Nigeria, which I also work with. It's a little bit radical. Madam from the Air Force, a Women Association, we also work closely with you. There is also what is called the He for She initiative. Many of us are familiar with the He for She initiative. It talks about the question of raising your boys. That's the He for She initiative. So there is a lot of that going on. I think in that area, government and governance is key. Let us remember that. And then, so including, of course, the NGOs, you talked about that. So these are areas which, of course, we will continue to talk about in terms of what exactly is going on. I don't want to waste too much time. Sickle Cell Foundation, we can talk about it. I'm also part and parcel of a supporter of the Sickle Cell Foundation. You know the headquarters is in opposite Luz. Are you aware? You're aware? I work with Dr. Mrs. Akishete. You've not been there before. Let's see, so that I can give you the name and number of Dr. Mrs. Akishete and then introduce you to go there and see physically, because I'm also closely involved with them. They do bone marrow transfer these days. The days of sickle cell have been Abiku, you know, the one that will die just after, is over. Science has coming in terms of all those issues. Don't let me waste too much on that. I'll give you. I think there was a question about membership. I will crave your indulgence to please just tell us a little bit about it. You know.
Thank you, my ambassador. So I would call the registration chairman committee. Ms. Enito. Please, you have the floor. Introduce UNAN to them.
Thank you very much. I would like to stand on all existing protocols, but I would like to say a very big good good afternoon to the people on the panel. So thank you so much for your interest in Yunnan. I will give you a brief. Oh, my name is Dr. Enito Oteji Birunke. I'm the membership chair for Yunnan, United Nations Association of Nigeria. So Yunnan, as we know, is a non-governmental organization that exists in various countries of the world, to enhance, somebody asked this question, that what is Yunnan? To enhance the relationship between people of member states and the United Nations. For what purpose? To raise public awareness of about the UN and the work that the UN does to promote the general goals of the UN. Now, for the Nigerian chapter of the United Nations Association, it was founded It was founded by Professor Babs Fafunwa, and since the time it was founded, the United Nations Association of Nigeria has been fulfilling the purpose of promoting the work and the goals of the United Nations in Nigeria. Now, Yunnan, as we know it today, and is part of what we're doing here, is poised to mobilize, motivate, and educate the entire civil society of Nigeria to the realization of the Sustainable Development Goals, which is why you always hear Professor Oluremi talk SDG goals, SDG projects all the time, and why today is happening. Now, for more information about us, you can find us on www.unnnigeria.org. We also have membership forms that will be distributed at this point for those who are interested, and you can definitely get more information. You have my details will also be shared, and our president will share more information. I hope I've been able to share some light on this to everyone in the room. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Enito. I can also assure you that as somebody who served in the permanent mission of Nigeria in New York, the ideas, the message of Yunnan is always, there is World Federation of Association of United Nations all across the world. And what does it mean? It means that when you have the UN Charter, it says, we the peoples of the world. That is the first sentence, first phrase. We, the peoples of the world. That is what it says. So what Yunnan is doing is essentially, when people are talking in New York, Geneva, Vienna, Nairobi, discussing resolutions, and they adopt it, they are saying that it is the peoples of the world who will eventually do this. So that's what she's saying. If I may ask, Mr. President is here. Have we perchance written a letter to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to introduce your ESCO? No. Let me suggest this. Please do a letter to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Copy the permanent secretary to say these are the people who are taking the who are working who are directing the affairs of Yunnan now. And it is also useful to send a copy of the letter, perhaps to the permanent mission of Nigeria to the United Nations. So you have visibility, people you're here. Because opportunities just come from sometimes. Who is there in Nigeria? Is Yunnan still existing? That's why I'm making that suggestion. Before we finish, I think Prof want to say one or two things. And then, because we must be, especially those of us 70 years old, who are not fasting and allowed not to fast, will want to quickly go for. Prof, you want to say one or two things? Yeah.
I'll just say that I think all the speakers and the panelists spoke my mind. Everything they have said, everything they have responded to resonate with me. And so I just want to say a big thank you to all of you, and especially those of you who are coming to the NIA for the first time. I just want to say that where you are is monumental. This place, you cannot separate or dissect this place from the history of Nigeria. You see, where all of you are sitting today and where we are all sitting was where the first ECOWAS treaty was signed here. And early this year, at the anniversary of ECOWAS, there was a reenactment of the treaty. All the presidents and representatives of the ECOWAS countries were here. The president of Nigeria was also here this year. And so it was fanfare. It was a whole lot of celebration. This building you're sitting, the way you're sitting right now is as old as 1965. So, if you see the way the setting is, it's like European Parliament and as well as the United Nations. So it was built by, given to us by the Senate of Berlin, the government of Germany. What we are going to use tomorrow, because I don't think we have time to talk about that, it's also an endowment by the British government that was built in 1965-66. Then the main building you're seeing was commissioned by General Yakubu Gowon, the oldest and the existing first ECOWAS president. When ECOWAS was set up, that was commissioned in 1967. So I think every place you see here is monumental, and so you can go around after your meal, take pictures, remind yourself that you came here, but much more importantly, don't forget to take picture with Mr. Knowledge. Mr. Knowledge is standing outside, the one pointing to the library and the main building. All right, thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much. I think we will, as we round up, I want to say this. The gender issue is resonating. If you look at the pictures of former director generals, those of you who are backing, look at it. There's only one woman there. Professor Mrs. Joy Ogu. She passed on recently. I crave your indulgence if we can just rise for just 1 minute in memory of Professor Mrs. Joy Ogu. May the soul of Professor Mrs. Joy Ogu rest in perfect peace. And I think I can add, I worked with her. She appointed me as Director of Public Communication and spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I also worked with her in the Permission, New York. She made the women proud. Not only that, she made Nigeria proud. There is what is referred to as the strategic, the Small Arms and Light Weapon Initiative. Professor Joy Ogu was the chair. I was on the ground with her in New York when that Small Arms and Light Weapons Initiative was adopted. She was the one that championed the entire world into it. If we can implement the Small Arms and Light Weapon Initiative, the whole question of issues of security which we are facing today, if it's not eliminated, at least we can. I think it's also a challenge to some of those of us who are young here, who wants to be diplomats, who wants to go into academia, that one of these days, your own picture will also eventually join this. Thank you very much.
And just to add, she employed me.
So lovely. Please a round of applause to our professors and for that wonderful, wonderful. And Mr. Joshua, our youngest. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Without so much ado, I'll be inviting the president to the podium to speak briefly to SDG goals. I know some pledge forms have been passed around. Do the needful while you do. I don't have it here. Please, we'll give him some minutes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go ahead. Professor, please.
Sorry, before, please come, sir. Prof, please, come, let me take picture with them, please. Yes. Thank you very much. We won't take our time. You see what I said? I said time. On or before 3, we should be rounding up and going. After this, what I'm going to say, the youth, please be preparing for your section. So after that, we close for the day. Thank you. I love being on time. So instead of 4:30, we close in a few minutes from now. Thank you very much. We're sharing our SDG. Please do well to support us in our SDG project. We want to go all out Nigeria because we're already spreading. We've already launched, inaugurated the Abuja branch of the UNAN. So if you're in Abuja, you can join the branch. It's open for Nigerians, but we're doing profiling. In the past, we had some people that would just take our ID card, go to the embassy, and run away. But this time around, we want sustainable members. Those who will go and come back. So one of the SDG, we may not be able to play the video now because of time. Maybe tomorrow, we'll play the video for you to see that. Also, we started the university chapter. So Covenant, raise your hand. That was our first baby. Covenant University, please raise up your hand. Please let me applaud them. Those are UNAM. That is university chapter, and they are doing amazing. So they have some SDG projects which we want to embark on. We have some villages and some projects we want to execute. The plan is sustainable projects. A project that after we've started it, we can commit it to individual companies or the government or the people of that community, that they can continue where we stop and make sure the project expand or last as long as they are there. So we have school, we have school uniform, school bag, the classroom we want to build, well-being, almost all the SDG, that is when we want to execute. And that is when you'll be seeing us. Can't it, we're starting it already. So please, as long as your donation is for, you don't know the person out there that your donation is gonna help. We want to help the school. There's some schools, we went there in this Nigeria, and we have governors that, the allocation, I do watch the allocation, a very fat one, they don't know even they exist. If we say during our past president, we can understand. But this time around that the allocation is fat. I say it's fat. I don't know if you are getting access to every month. I'm in a platform, political platform, all these journalists and all those ones, governors too. They normally send it there, what they are sharing. The thing where they share. Nigeria get money, what they are sharing is very heavy this time around. So we should not look towards, let all of us build. Every pen counts. We're sharing this, it's not for us. We are purely humanitarian. We've done a lot of projects. And this project was done, I think some banks supported us a few years ago. But this time around, we're counting on you and me to start this SDG project. In fact, let's start and hand it over to the government. Let them say, sir, we've started it, take. If it's spoiled, it's in your hand. Thank you very much. We won't have much time. I don't have much time, but please, whatever you put in, do it now. She'll continue from it. Do it now. We will reach out to you to appreciate you. And then, please, you can follow us up on whatever donation you're doing to make sure that what you have donated, we use it for what we said today we want to use it for. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please, can we give him a round of applause? A round of applause. I know we're getting tired and agitated, but then we're almost there. We don't want you to go out for lunch and come back here. So we want to take the last session, and that's it. So you take your lunch, you can go from there. Without so much ado, we're just taking the youth interactive dialogue. We have the AYFI president, we have UNA, and we have the university rep. Please, could you take your seats at the panel? So it's going to be an interactive session. It's not going to take later than 15 minutes, and they will be up and running, and it will be snappy. Let's just listen intently, and when we want to ask questions, our questions should be 30 seconds each, after which we take the mic from you. And I'm sure we're going to enjoy the session because it's the youth. Thank you. You have the floor.
Okay, thank you so much. Standing on all the existing protocol, my name is Moses Okenla. I'm the founder of a youth-focused organization called Lighted Pearl Africa Foundation. And I have representatives from some higher institutions in Nigeria with us. So I'm just going to give them the mic. So you see that it's gender equal now, right? 2 ladies and me. So I'm going to give them the mic to introduce themselves.
Good afternoon, everyone. All protocols duly observed. My name is Nkama Esther. I am a 400 level mass communication student at the University of Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akombi Koyumot. I'm a student of Yaba Tech College of Technology, and I'm an HND1 student.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm going to give a short presentation. We're speaking about our future, the youth's future, what we see in relations to the SDG, how collaboration, partnership can enhance the things we do as youths. Just a moment, please. Okay. So distinguished delegates, partners in development, today we gather to shape our shared future. And I'm reminded that the future we desire is already here. It simply lives in the minds of young people. So many of our speakers have spoken about mental transformation, mind shift. Last year I started a youth event called the Youth Conference. It's an annual event to shape the minds of the youth. I realized that most times, or more often than not, the reason why we don't see much results in the SDGs is because the mindset of the people that were implementing some of these projects are automatically rejecting the projects we are giving to them. So take, for instance, we were in a community, my organization and the team were in a community to share food items, and that was about 3 years ago. And the community did not realize that we're doing something great for they were like, what are you guys doing? At that point, I realized that what we need to do is not just to give people food or give people temporary interventions. One of the long-term sustainable projects we need to do is to shape the minds of the people, because like most people would say, poverty is actually not the absence of funds, it's the absence of the right ideas and the right mindset. So, so this limiting beliefs forms a foundation of limitation for so many underserved youths in underserved communities. We believe that accelerating the SDG impact begins with 3 pillars: partnership, innovation, and inclusion. Partnership, because no organization can achieve the SDGs alone. We cannot achieve it alone. So we need to co-create with schools, with community leaders, with the corporate world, private organization, faith group, government, to build shared solution. Also innovation, not only in technology, but in thinking. So through innovations like the Youth Conference, which my organization holds every year, we are shaping the minds of the next generations of leaders. Then the last one, inclusion, because sustainability development must reach the last person. So we must leave the place of talk and get into the communities where people really need these interventions. So it must be inclusive, where we create opportunities for every child, every girl, every youth, so that they can see possibilities and participate in it. The model I have personally invested in is working, because I've seen transformation in the lives of so many youths, and some of them are right here with me in the room. We've seen transformation. We've seen children that were once hungry and couldn't attend schools go back to school through our education project. And we've also seen teenagers from disadvantaged backgrounds leading community change, as we have seen mindset shift from dependency to dignity. So today, I extend a call to government, development agency, corporate partners. Let's shape the future together. Let's accelerate the SDGs, not just through policies, but through people. It is when we transform people's mindset that we can transform people's life. And when we transform enough lives, we will transform the world. That's my submission for this panel. So I'm going to speak to my co-panelists, talking about shaping the future through the SDGs. What are you doing, and what do you think youths need to start doing? So I'm going to start with you, Enke.
Okay, what am I? I'll start with what I am doing. So my name is Esther, and a backstory, I was sexually abused, right? And I remember in 2023, I got the opportunity to go for something like this. It was organized by an organization called CEDA. And there we had conversations about women and children. And in the course of the conversation, I realized something. Sexually abused women or children do not have a safe space to talk about the trauma that they went to, right? So we had a conversation about it, and I decided to take it upon myself, seeing as I'm a survivor, right? And I created something, a community called Let's Talk Life with NK. So it's for young girls like me, you know, to come together, a safe haven where we can talk about our trauma, everything that we have been through, and then we have mentors, counselors that can, you know, help us navigate through the difficult phases of the whole experience. So that's what I have been doing personally, right, for advancing the SDG goals. Now, things like this, I believe that it would be nice to have partners to come in, other NGOs come in, create havens like this where people can come to. I know of someone, her name is Doreen. She also has something like a safe haven for sexual workers, where they come, they get rehabilitated, and they get better and live a better life. So I believe like partnerships like this can really help in the long run, because the trauma is something, I don't know how to explain it except you have lived through it, right? And it takes a toll on the mind. And if as a young person that happens to you and you're not able to think well, it actually affects how the rest of your life goes, how you're able to think, how work, school, every other thing goes in your life. So partnership in that regard will be very important. And it also shows that we care about the people that have gone through certain things. Because I know some people, oh, you have been abused, there's a kind of look, there's a stigma that comes, hello, please, I'm still human, right? So I think being able to include them in conversations, let them know that they are cared for, they are loved, and regardless of what has happened to them, they can be anything they want to. Because I know personally I've struggled with my sense of self-worth. There are times I'm like, oh, this happened, I don't feel worthy, blah, 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 all of those kind of things. If people are able to understand what this set of survivors have gone through, and then they are able to include them in everything, show them that they are loved, and all of that, I believe is going to really help in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you so much, NK. That was so powerful and touching. So over to you, Koyumot. So what are you doing, and what do you see as the future for the SDG in relation to what youth needs to start doing now? Because the future is not tomorrow. The future starts today. So what do you think youth needs to be doing right now that they can get partnership, collaborations for, that to push the SDG to the next level?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moses. So the thing is, there is this way that polytechnic students are being looked at. I noticed that when people are talking about teenagers in tertiary institution, they only branch about the universities. They barely talk about the polytechnic student. And it's something that has gotten to me. Like, I chose to go to a polytechnic because of the handiwork, the vocational skills that are being learned there. And there is a gap where you get educated and you can use it in the economy. So most artists, I'm a textile designer, by the way, most artists are being looked at like, you don't have a future here. You don't do this, you don't do that. It's not something that can pave a way for you. But I would say that they are kind of right. Because
looking at the studios in which we are being given works to do, we barely have equipment. Equipment are short, and most people are like, okay, why go to school when I cannot work with it? When I'm not fully educated in it? I've seen most of my seniors says they're holding here just to get the certificate. Most of what they want to do is go abroad and go and learn about it more. There is not enough things to go around for them. And that goes for the decent work and economical growth in SDG 8. How can teenage leave school and know that, okay, this is what I want to go for? Not everybody is going to be a leader. Someone is going to be a follower, and each followers have an impact in it. So, starting up young, by the age of 13, I joined NGOs. Even though my parents didn't have much, but I knew I was going to make an impact somewhere. Somebody made an impact with me. Mr. Moses made an impact with me. Then why not give it out? And okay, let's show people that, okay, not everything can be useless. And now in Lagos State, there is barely any state or federal polytechnic standing. The only one standing is Yaba College, in which I school. I had to leave my former polytechnic because it was turned into universities. And I feel polytechnics do a lot of good. They give you vocational skills that I do not need to look for work before I can work. It's something I can start up by myself, something that even though my parents are not able to give me my school fees, I can implement what I'm being taught immediately to get back to what my parents are giving in. So I feel it's something that we should really look at into vocational skills for young people.
Thank you so much, Korimot. So you said you do textile. Did you do this beautiful dress you're wearing?
Unfortunately, no. Okay. I got this one before I became a textile designer.
Okay. So I just wanted to know. So now it's open to the youth. This is our panel. I want, we're going to take about 4 questions, please, from youths. 30 seconds, please. 30 seconds. Questions, contributions. How are you, what kind of future do you want as a youth? And what kind of collaborations, partnerships do you want in relation to the SDG? So I'm speaking to the youth right now. So I just need 4 people that will want to contribute or ask questions from the youth section. Okay, I'm seeing one hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so where is our moderator? We need to give some people the mic to speak. Okay, so number 1, please. Hey, here. Okay. So please, your name and your institution.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Miesindo Michael Allah. I'm a 300 level student of Policy and Strategic Studies at Covenant University. So my contribution is regards to tokenism, in the sense, as youth are speaking, as youth are being involved, unquote, in matters, in shaping the world, in shaping the future, there has to be a move from just hearing what the youths are saying, from just bringing the youths to talk, and actually doing what the youths are saying, doing what the youths want. We saw it happen in Nepal. There must have been seasons where they say, youth, what do you want? Or some minister or some governor is talking and saying, the youth want this, this is what youth are saying, but they are not doing it. And then at some point, it got to the climax and the youth had to take action. And in some other countries, it may go that way. In some other countries, it may not go that way. But to ensure that we are actually shaping the future together, my contribution is that we move from just hearing the youth and actually doing what the youth say, doing what the youth wants. Thank you.
That's brilliant. Number 2, I think I saw someone around there.
I am Chema Odona, a 400 level student of mass communication at the University of Lagos. First of all, what I do, or I am an advocate for youth, telling them they should empower themselves, because for a long time I went through the issue of self-worth. So I had a low self-esteem, and I didn't know what I was capable of for a long time until later. So now, my issue is that a lot of us, majorly at the Ikotu Egbe, that is a place that I know is segregated in a lot of ways. So youth there do not know where they stand, do not know how they can be a change in worlds like this, in forums like this. We talk, a lot of us are opportune to be here, but over there, a lot of them are not opportune to be there. So how do we actually bridge this gap? People go to a lot of other places, but around that area, I've not seen any, and the youth are really dying in the low mindsets, poverty, and a lot of things. So how can we bridge this gap and bring inclusivity in that area? Thank you.
Okay, I think that's a question. We'll take that. I think Ambassador said he wants to add something. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. My question is to my dear sister who went to Polytechnic, and you say you are in the area of textile design. I presume you finished and that you're into business now. I would like to ask you, what's your vision in terms of taking advantage of what you're doing? I'm asking that because when I see Adire in and around here, and I wear a lot of those things, and I know the original from the one that comes in from China, which is a big, because I was involved in the authentic Ogun Adire. You said you are here at Unilag, I mean at Java Tech, which is now a university anyway. I'm asking that question against the background of, because it's the people like you who pick up the challenge in terms of getting Adire authentic. I'm talking about, go and check out the authentic Ogun Adire. Mama Anke now sells in dollars. What do you see? How do you see that we can take it back and make sure that it also competes, like, you know, international dresses? I was in Kenya, the koi of the Kenyans, the Ghanaian kente. What do you see? How do you want to deal with that? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ambassador. Before she responds, would like to have the forms back. If you have executed it, please hand it over to me. Thank you.
Okay, so before she responds, we just have two more youths that would be asking questions. Then we take Dr. Ojibo. Okay, you also want to contribute. Okay, so maybe after Dr. Ojibo, you contribute. So please quickly, you just have 30 seconds to respond because our time is far spent. So what's your vision regarding the textile industry? How do you differentiate? And how do you scale? What do you want to do about it?
Okay, thank you, sir. We've known that artificial intelligence and technology has dominated the world space of printing and cultural diverse wares right now. But it becomes a thing of everybody wants fast money. Everybody wants things that are cheap, but they don't look at the quality anymore. Right? My vision right now is a thing of when I graduate, I'm still going to go learn locally, of course. But it's a thing of looking for the right audience to reach in, looking for people who want qualities. But there is also a barrier there for us. It's a thing of people who are taking it to the audience in which we want. They are making a big gap in between the producer and the person that's collecting it. Especially a thing of we making things out and someone else taking that work and putting in their own labeling. It's not just only art pieces like painting that get forged. Most of our works get forged. By the time it's getting to the big distributor, they are putting in the labeling and they are making our audience knows that, okay, do you want the China horn? Do you want the local horn? So it's a thing of we stopping those kind of prints, entering back into the country, and focusing on what the youth are going to give to us.
Thank you so much. So I think you might need some mentorship also on that. I think you can meet Ambassador. I know Ambassador knows so much about this, so I think you need to get some mentorship on that. So let's just take the 2 questions, then we take the contributions. Please, the students, I think they are seated together. Please, you have 30 seconds. Our time is fast spent. We have less than 2 minutes to round off this session.
All right, thank you. My name is Deborah Onojoko, a 400 level student of mass communication, University of Lagos. So in relation to what NK said about, you spoke about being sexually violated while you were younger. So while I was younger, right, there was this show, MTV Sugar and Waiting Day. These shows, for me, I believe in the concept of edutainment, right? Education through entertainment. I remember MTV Sugar, after every episode, they would give us call lines or websites that if you know anybody that has been molested, if you know anybody struggling through this, that you can call this. And then I remember Waiting Day, then they were trying to cancel the stigma of HIV and AIDS, right? I remember it was through MTV Sugar that I learned that a mother with HIV can pass it down to the child when I was younger. So this, for me, I believe that education through entertainment can be a very, very strong means of creating awareness in society, right? When Professor Chris Obisi was talking, he said something about Nigeria needs a new mindset, right? So I believe that you can impact mindsets through stories and selling emotions, because what better way to raise awareness? I mean, when you have an ad campaign, you just have campaigns saying, oh, this and this and this, do this. It doesn't make as much impact as putting yourself in the situations of the person. I remember when I was in SS2, I read a book where it talked about vaginismus. I'd never heard about the condition vaginismus. I never knew that it was a condition women face. And I remember I searched about it, and just it more than raise awareness, it created empathy in me, right? I was conscious about the condition of vaginismus, and then I'll just look at women and who is going through this? You don't know. We don't know the things that people are going through inside, right? So I believe that education through entertainment is a very strong means of raising awareness, but not just awareness, creating empathy.
Thank you very much. So let's quickly take the last student contribution. Then we'll take Dr. Jibo.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Adedeji Got-Elect, in 211 nursing science student of the Osun State University. And now, in a community where girls are sexually exploited, not only sexually exploited, they drop out of schools because they feel they can't support themselves, they don't have this capacity to take book or something. So now, we have these girls empowerment programs. I've been to some, and the programs are not being brought to them. So I just want to ask, how do we bring this program to them? The people that are living in the suburbs, they don't have the information of how the program are being brought to them. So how do we bring the program to them? And then when the girls flatly refuse the help we are bringing to them, how do we help them?
Okay, thank you very much. So I think I would answer your question, but let me take Dr. Jibo and you, ma'am. So Dr. Jibo, please, the mic. Yeah.
Starting on the existing protocol, I don't know if it's just me. What that lady spoke about, and nobody's actually talking about it here. I mean, that thing broke my heart deeply, that she could muster that courage to actually address this issue in this assembly. Before I commend what the UNAT are actually doing, I think there are some courses that should be personal to UNAT. And this kind of course are courses I would appeal for adoption. It's a course I also want to support. And in supporting you, I actually need maybe a little older people to actually manage that, because you can't do this alone. It's something that destroys a whole lot of people. I did something called Dynetics. I know how the mind actually works. And maybe if you're there tomorrow, I'll take some time, maybe 10 minutes to try and help a little bit. And I want to be part of that course as well. If UNAT can adopt, I think we have a lot of women there. And also we have the NAOA as well. This should be like your baby project or so. I'm just trying to solicit for you because it's is a serious situation. You know, imagine the number of people out there. Some just get destroyed mentally, you know, and they never say something, you don't even know what is happening. You know, so the more people start talking and listening to each other, you know, they will help cause like this. I really, really want to support you, even financially and otherwise. I also need some, I don't know, I'm really pushed. I think for 1 year, I will need any organization that can help, maybe through UNAD. I will do a 2 million naira to your foundation. Yeah. I want to do more as well. Well, please, I think they need to network with you and let's track their progress as well. Thank you. Thank you for
sir.
sharing.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jibo. Okay, let's take the final contribution. Then I'll see if I can answer the questions.
First of all, I think we should appreciate our he for she for this wonderful support. Thank you very much, sir. It's a beautiful one. I actually want to talk about her. You are a super warrior. You are a survivor. And one thing I love about you is that you didn't allow your situation to drain you down. You know, you empower yourself and you call it, think of how you can equally help others, you know, to overcome this type of situation, not to, you know, destroy them. And why I'm standing there to contribute is because you people that have this opportunity now to think, to say things like this. During our time when we were in universities, we didn't have these opportunities, you know, to actually have platforms like that, like this, that we can actually express ourselves and equally know what is happening in the world and how to address them. It's a beautiful thing. You created a safe space where people can, you know, network and help them with their, you know, different violences that they may have encountered. And I think one thing that is very, very essential that you need to do, because you have the platform now, your people are still in school. I want you to incorporate sensitization against domestic violence, gender-based violence. Let people know about these violences. Let people understand it. Let your lecturers know of it. Because when I was in school, some of the things that I'm later, you know, realizing that they are gender-based violence, I never knew they were gender-based violence. We felt at that time it was okay for your lecturer to harass you, to tell you to meet him in a hotel. We felt as if, you know, sometimes it's their rights. They are your lecturers. It's either you agree to go or you fail. So we don't have a platform where we can raise voices and concern and see how we can address these things. So I think it's very important to carry this sensitization to your school. Now you are in school. So the platform you have is you have your fellow students. You can sensitize them, continue sensitizing them, continue educating them to understand that this is a problem and we have to come together and address it. So you're building a community of people practicing to understand these violences and understand how to seek help. And we are all here to support you in every capacity that we can. We're ready and willing to support you and equally, you know, develop this platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much. Okay, let me quickly attempt to answer the questions. So you made reference that there are some slum communities that are not included in some of the interventions. I think the first step you need, like something like what I did, was to engage the community. You need to know the problems of those communities. That is when you can proffer solutions to those problems. And for you to know the problems, you need to engage either the leaders in the community first, then the people of the community. Speak to them, interview them, ask them questions. Because sometimes we feel we know what people need just looking from the outside. Until you get there, that's when you will see what people really need. So you need to get there, speak to them, get to know them. Then you can now begin to introduce your interventions to them. And I think they're going to take it with open hands if you go through that process. So our time is fast spent. Thank you very much. Delegates, thank you for giving us this opportunity to hear our views. God bless you.
Please, let's keep clapping. Let's keep clapping. That's a wonderful session. Thank you so much. Thank you, our youths, the leaders. Thank you. Thank you. So I think we have come to a close.
Yes, please.
Our time is fast spent, but well spent. Do you agree? If you agree, just give us some round of applause. So we also want to use this opportunity to recognize all those that are watching online. So we have viewers online, we have members online, internationally, globally, people are watching. This is live. It's being live streamed. So we want to acknowledge them. Our SG is joining us. I think she joined us from Canada. We have quite a number of other people that have joined online. So we're happy to have you all here, and thank you. So on that note, I'll call on the president, Professor Lutimo, to give us the closing remark so we can go out and have our lunch. Thank you. From me, Ifoma Nwoke.
And also from me, Deacon Kamo. Thank you.
It's a wrap.
Let me come down here. I won't be there. On this note, I want to say a big thank you to everybody. Apart from that, you guys are looking fantastic and amazing. The deliberations were fantastic. And also, I'm the proudest person, let me use the English, to be alive today. Since people learn things, different things under the United Nations, which I watched when I was wearing only pint to run about in that black and white TV. But today, we thank God. And also, I want to express my gratitude to the chairman of the Board of Trustees. Since day one we met, that is Ambassador Ayo Olukani. Since the day we met, in Unique, where rain drained on us, we have no office space. But we kept on. Also, I want to express my gratitude to Engineer Owolabi. He's not here. He kept the dream alive in 2004. And he handed over 2020 when I became the Secretary General. I want to appreciate him. And also, I want to appreciate the committee who have worked tirelessly to make sure that we are here today. I want to also appreciate those that gave to make sure that we have this event. This first thing, this is an historic event. It has not happened before, but you guys make it happen. And in the history of Nigeria and Yunnan, you guys will never be forgotten. And your image will always be on the secretariat. I want to appreciate you guys. Thank you for taking time to be here. And please manage the little thing we gave you. But I know tomorrow we should have a sweat time. And I want to see all of you there. P.O., I want to appreciate you too. My team, please come out my team. They have been amazing. Please, Treasurer, my auditor, ASG, where is she? And then my Secretary General. Okay. And also, the committee chairman, Mrs. Akishete, please come. I need to appreciate you too. There's one amazing thing about this thing. Yeah. Mr. Ephraim, come, I beg, don't leave me among women. Mr. Ephraim, come here. Oh. Although this is not gender balance. No, this is gender K-leg. Yeah, ASG, where are you? Only me. Jesus Christ. You guys count my headache. Then, members, please join me too. stand up for recognition. Papa. Papa has been there for years, oh, for years. And when we had the World Egg Day, it was the one sharing flyers throughout that Ikoyi on his feet. And I want to appreciate him. Why? You know what? There was one particular woman, she's working in the hospital we had the program, the general hospital. But do you know that she was unable to have health check, her own health check, in where she was working? And when he shared, I was by the side on the, he shared, he said, please, you can attend. And I said, are you sure? Because I've been working here, and I've been asking them because she doesn't have the money. Nigeria, I don't know, when I get her to. And you can't believe that day, we did not only check her health, we gave her medications and hope. Thank you. He gave the flyer. You may not be able to give money, but your service counts to humanity. You see your neighbor that don't have no school fees, that boy, you are looking at him, and you are growing up, he's growing up with your son. Now dangerous special, you are putting down. No? So, but I want to thank you, these are my team. I'm saying, there's no, Jesus Christ. No. Do you agree? Is this one balance? No, please. No, the house. Is this one balance? While I was the Secretary General, it was balanced. But they thought we were overshadowing them. Now, I'm the president, but I want to appreciate you guys. No, it's not balanced. You're not blessed among women, so it's balanced. But do you know the headache we share? Thank you very much. I appreciate all of you. I'll see more of you there. Thank you for all of you. You guys are fantastic. And I believe that anytime you hear United Nations, you'll be there. Please, you don't need a platform to express or to reign. Create one for yourself. You'll be recognized. Always align your business or your NGO, align it with the SDG goals and make it loud. You'll be noticed. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of you. You're blessed. Thank you. Please, after this, you go for your lunch. Please, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. It's a wrap, finally. We made it. It's 3 p.m.